Free agency in the NFL starts this Monday with the tampering period, and a week from today, teams can sign players. So, with that in mind, I think we need to talk about the biggest need that the New York Jets are going to have going into free agency and into the draft. It is offensive tackle night, so let's get right into it. It is Wednesday night, it's 10 p.m., and we're live. And welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm watching K99. You know that. It says it right down there below. And welcome to New York Sports WickerMedia. And I'll tell you what, Wednesday Night Live is here. It is ready to go. And we got a whole lot of stuff that we want to talk about tonight. But we're going to do just a little bit differently to get the show started. Actually, before we get into the 3 and out, I want to say a quick hello. Let's get right to the chat. I want to get to you guys right from the get-go. Let's start out with the great Jets Mess. He was first into the chat tonight. Thank you so much for coming by and giving your support, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Hank G, always making everybody feel welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Hello to you. And we've got Harlan Abraham wishing everybody a howdy. I don't know. Good to see you, Harlan. All right, we got Papa Yete here from the outset, from the beginning of the show. Good to see you. We got like the H crew. We got Hank, we got Harlan, but that's not all. We've got Hawk. Good to see you, my friend. Actually, you know what? My middle name actually starts with an H as well. So, yeah, I kind of have an H in my name, and that's my middle name. So, you wonder what it is? I'm going to let you all guess what my middle name might be. But all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Whole lot of stuff to get into tonight. So let's get into this right now with a little bit of what we like to call 3 and out. So first and foremost, let's talk a little NHL. All right. The trade deadline is on Friday. There's a whole lot going on in the world of hockey right now. And the New York Rangers have made a move acquiring center Alex Wenberg from the Seattle Kraken, kidding, for a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 fourth-round pick that could become a third. So Wenberg, this was a player that I was interested in. I actually did a video talking about trade deadline targets. I was interested in the Rangers acquiring. Alex Wenberg, I think, was my number 5 or 6 player. And he was probably my top center target. So he's a good two-way center. He will replace Philip Hedl on the third line very well. Kills penalties, good on faceoff, good playmaker. He's a good creator. He's not so much a finisher. Okay, so he's not going to have like a lethal shot, but he will put other players in position to score goals. All right, and as far as the salary situation goes, Seattle is retaining 50% of his salary, and why that's important, guys, you can keep guessing H names. I'm not going to say anything until I see the correct name, but I got a feeling we're going to be here a little while. But the thing is, the Rangers have about $3 million left in cap space, which gives them room to take on Frank Petrano, to take on a Jake Gensel from Pittsburgh. There's a big race for Jake Gensel, the Pittsburgh forward, who is being highly sought after. And from the latest I'm hearing, the biggest targets right now, the teams going after him are the Rangers, the Hurricanes, and the Golden Knights. I'll tell you what, if it's the Rangers or the Hurricanes, whoever gets him, I think is going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. No, and no on H names. I told you guys are going to be here a while doing this. That should be the trivia for the night. No, I don't think we're going to quite do that. No, the trivia does not need to be about me. Absolutely not. But the Rangers did lose to Florida the other night. Definitely the best team in hockey. The Panthers, by the way, Oh man, they're just ridiculous. They don't lose ever since December ended. I think they have 3 losses. The Panthers do 4 losses since the calendar turned to 2025. Just crazy. So we will see what happens. I still think a right wing is desperately needed, whether it is Jake Gensel, Frank Petrano, even Alex Tuck from Buffalo would be a really good fit as well. Just depends, but you still got about 36 hours or so before the trade deadline. Let's see what Chris Drury winds up doing. And as far as the other teams in the metropolitan region, well, if you're a New Jersey Devils fan, I don't know where Vervain is, but if I was him, I'd be pretty upset right now with what's going on. The Devils play their first game with Travis Green as interim coach. They played the same Panthers the other night. Last night, Panthers win 5-3 Florida. By the way, here's the record. Since December 23rd, they are 25-4-2. That is ridiculous. Devils, on the other hand, have lost 3 straight games and 7 of their last 10. The last time the Devils won 3 games in a row was December. They are now 7th in the Metropolitan Division. You wonder if they will trade pieces off. And the latest from what I'm hearing is that Tyler Toffoli, who they signed as a free agent, very, very good winger, has won a Stanley Cup or 2 in his career, could potentially be on the move. I don't know if the Devils would ever trade a major piece of theirs to the Rangers, but Toffoli would be a very, very intriguing piece as well. Another quick couple of hellos to the great Dane O, who I see in a whole lot of Jet shows and a whole lot of chats. Good to see you, my man. Glad you're here. Dano, the equidistance of your banners always reminds me I'm in a safe space. That's what I'm here for, to give everybody a safety, a calming feeling, yes. And weed is not necessary. All right, and a quick mention on the New York Islanders. They've actually been looking pretty good as of late. I got to give them some credit. 4-2 victory at home over St. Louis last night. Bo Horvat scores a very pretty goal in the third period. You know, ever since the Rangers defeated the Islanders at MetLife Stadium, the Islanders are 5-2 since they blew that big lead. So you got to give them a lot of credit for resilience. They're now 4 points out of third place in the Metropolitan Division. They're also 4 points out of a wild card spot behind Detroit and Tampa Bay. But the Islanders have 2 games in hand on Tampa Bay. Now, coming up, they got a very interesting road trip. They got a 4-game trip against the Sharks, the Ducks, the Kings, and then back east to take on the Sabres. That's not the hardest competition, but it is a long road trip. So let's see what the Islanders do away from home. All right. Wild Wade, thoughts on the Rangers trade? Rewind 5 minutes. We just talked about it. But yeah, I like the trade. It cannot be the only move that the Rangers make, but I definitely like the trade for sure. Yeah, I do like Wenberg. I did not want Adam Henrique on this team. Now you got to go get a right wing. No question about it. And I'm just going to spend like one quick second on the Knicks. You know what? They're missing 4/5 of their starting lineup. They lost to Atlanta. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They're still tied for 4th in the Eastern Conference. But the Knicks need to stay in the top 6, avoid that play-in tournament. But they're only a game and a half up on 8th place. Now, on Friday night, they've got Orlando, who has been a matchup nightmare for them. And then they've got 2 straight home games against the Philadelphia 76ers. It's all about health, getting this team healthy, and go from there. That's it. That's all I want to see out of the Knicks. That's all that matters. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. That is it for 3 and Out. So we're going to say goodbye to that. And we are going to get into the main topic of the evening. And gentlemen, I think you know what it is. So let's say it together. Say it loud. Say it. In fact, I even dressed up for the occasion. All right. So let's get into a little bit of news and notes with what's going on. By the way, does Buffalo still have a team left? Do the Buffalo Bills have anybody left besides Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs on that team? Oh, my God. Oh, we've got the great Mo Dean here, the ultimate troll himself. Mo, how you doing? Gotta go to Mo Deans. Good to see you, my friend. Don't worry, whatever I say, Mo Dean is sure to disagree with it. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, Buffalo releasing so many players. Trey White, a cornerback, chief among them. You know, Gabe Davis going to be a free agent. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde are both gone. That amazing safety duo is now history. Leonard Floyd is a free agent, fantastic pass rusher as well. Mitch Morse at center. Let's see what he winds up doing. If he's playing, if I'm the Jets, there aren't many centers that I would move Joe Tippmann for, move him over to guard. But Mitch Morse might be an interesting addition if he's doing well. But hey, they signed Mitch Trubisky as their backup quarterback, so all is well in the world. All must be well up in Buffalo. Yeah, we got a heck of a crew tonight. Yeah, we got some all-stars out here. Wild Wave also, of course, look at the New Orleans Saints. But this is the idea of doing the NFL on a credit card. Eventually, you got to pay the piper, and now Buffalo is paying big, and Miami as well. I mean, Jerome Baker, Christian Wilkins, they couldn't bring either of them back, two studs on defense, at least not as of right now. And let's see what they do with their offensive line between Robert Hunt, between Connor Williams. I mean, Miami will still have a very good team, no doubt about it. Hopefully Tyreek Hill doesn't have any more illegitimate children that we aren't aware of. But who knows what might happen? Who knows what might happen? Oh, that's very nice. The check's in the mail. Quick reminder, guys, please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Super chats and super thanks are open, and monthly memberships are now available for $5 a month, $4.99 a month. If that's something you're looking at, you'll get some emojis. We've got some new emojis. We've got the wheel emoji, and I made it. Yes, I created it. The people wanted it. The wicker chair emoji. It is available now. All right, so you can do that. You can use that if you become a member. Shameless plug out of the way, and let's go on. All right, with some Jets news right now, with some of the rumors going around, Foley Fatukasi, released by the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like the idea of him coming back in the Al Woods spot as that run defender. I don't like him as the, obviously the only defensive tackle. We don't need him playing 60% of the snaps. But in a situational role, if he's willing to do that, I think it would really help. We saw once Al Woods went down, this run defense was not the same at all. Teams were running the ball relentlessly on the Jets. And, Quentin Jefferson, fine pass rusher. We talked about this when we discussed defensive tackles a couple of weeks ago, but his run numbers were horrible. He cannot defend the run. Solomon Thomas was fine. Quinn Williams, excellent run defender. But when you're only on the field 65% of the time, you need another run defender sometimes. All right, so I'm very interested in Foley coming back. Another player I've been hearing about is Kendrick Bourne, the wide receiver, formerly of the Niners, most recently of the New England Patriots. 28 years old. I was more interested in signing him when he left San Francisco. He played 8 games for New England this year and was quite good. 406 yards and 4 touchdowns. Unfortunately, tore his ACL. I don't know how much I could trust him because I feel like he is a fine receiver. He's a good receiver. I don't know how many guys I need to be signing coming off serious knee injuries. And also, the Patriots have made a contract offer to Bourne. Of course, we don't know what the parameters of that contract would be. I'd be just as happy to bring Corey Davis back on a cheap contract. Basically, it's going to be a similar level of production. And I'll tell you what, I think you'll get Davis back for a lot less than you would get Kendrick Bourne. So, but hey, unfortunately, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, they're not going anywhere. So on to the next tier. We pretty much have to go from there. But now we look at the free agent list. Now we have an idea of what's going to be available when the tampering period starts on Monday. And ESPN has actually released their top 10 free agents. They released a 100 list, actually. But I just thought I would give you the top 10 free agents. And, let's see if we can find some patterns among these. Now, I'm not going to put these on the screen. I'm just going to give them to you, okay? The number 1 free agent that they have on their list is Chris Jones, defensive tackle of the Chiefs. Number 2, Kirk Cousins, quarterback. Makes sense. Number 3, Christian Wilkins, defensive lineman from Miami. Number 4, Danielle Hunter, defensive lineman, edge rusher from the Vikings. Number 5, is Baker Mayfield, another quarterback. Number 6, Robert Hunt, the offensive lineman from the Dolphins, a player that I am certainly interested in. Number 7 is Chase Young, the edge rusher formerly of the Commandskins and most recently of the 49ers. Number 8 is Leonard Williams, defensive lineman, the ex-Jet. And number 9, our guy, Bryce Huff, rated the 9th top free agent on the market. And number 10 is Kendall Fuller, who's a defensive back. By the way, number 11 is Tyron Smith. More on him later. So here's the thing. As I go through that list, I went through 10 free agents. Do you realize 6 of those 10, 6 of the top 9 actually, are defensive linemen? Pretty crazy to think about that. But you've got some pretty good pass rushers, some good edge rushers here. So I come back to this. Even though guys like Brian Burns and Josh Allen are not going anywhere, there's still some very dangerous pass rushers that I think might be targeted first before Bryce Huff gets targeted. We'll find out. But again, good as Bryce Huff is, I don't know if he's going to be any team's number one target on the market. So I just wanted to give you that top 10 for a little bit of perspective. Okay, so with that in mind, we have a sort of a new tradition on this show. And it's become sort of a popular recurring theme because every week we have the chance to play this game. And that game is called Who Left the Jets This Week? Every single week, somebody leaves. As a matter of fact, let's do a little bit of recap of what's happened ever since the end of this season, okay? First of all, we had Rex Hogan, the assistant general manager, and
he gone.
And then number 2 was Chad Alexander, the vice president of player personnel, and you know what happened.
He gone.
He gone too. Then it was Rob Calabrese, the quarterback coach, and you know what happened.
He gone.
He gone as well. Next on the list, last week it was Laken Tomlinson, offensive guard. What happened to him? He was released, which means you know what happens.
He gone.
He gone as well. And now this week I present CJ Uzomah, tight end. And I got to tell you, I was on the air with Nick, and I think it was Tigo. I think it was the three of us who were on the air at the same time when the news broke the Jets had signed CJ Uzomah, and we were thrilled. We were overjoyed to sign him. Tight end, good guy, came from a team that had been doing some winning as of late. Definitely seemed like an upgrade over the Ryan Griffins and the Dan Browns of the world. But 3 years, $24 million. Great guy, no doubt about it. But you know what? Just another run-of-the-mill tight end. Played 27 games in 2 years, 29 catches, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, but had some big penalties, had a lot of trouble with drop passes. I know he had terrible quarterback play. I understand that. But at the end of the day, he did not lift. He did not, he was not a difference maker at tight end. It's like Ty Conklin emerged as the better option. Jeremy Ruckert eventually emerged as a better option once Nathaniel Hackett figured out that he should play. And now the Jets are going to clear $5.3 million off of the cap by letting Uzomah go. So what does that mean for CJ Uzomah as a New York Jet?
He gone.
He gone as well, and we wish you all the best, CJ Uzomah, in your future endeavors. What are you going to do? Some things just don't work out. I even tweeted him. I said, hey, thanks for being a great guy. I'm just sorry it didn't work out. Just kept it that way, and he gave me a like back. So it's not. I'll put it this way: it's nice when people with a little bit of fame actually respond to the nice things you say, and as opposed to only the things where you disagree or criticize them. I'm just saying there's certain people like that, and they need to do better than that. Okay, so now we talk about the offensive tackle situation. We've already talked about the interior offensive line, and we're going to talk about currently what the Jets have at offensive tackle. So returning in 2024, I'm putting in Elijah Vera Tucker here because we don't know where he's going to play. Basically, I'll admit I cheated. I copied the same slide that I used for the IOL show. He's versatile. He could play 4 positions potentially, some better than others. He's only played 28 of the last 50 games, although he did play his entire rookie year. But last year when he did play, really good. 2 sacks allowed, 1 penalty. But the Jets do have to make a decision on his 5th-year option, which would be $15 million. Now, personally, I don't know if they would do this, but if they could sign him to a long-term deal now for a lower amount of money, I would be very open to that. I want to say a quick hello to CP's Mets and Nick. CP, very good guy. He's also a Virginia Mets fan. I think he's actually a little bit more of a Giants fan, but a good dude. Does a lot of Mets and Knicks content. So if you're a fan of one of those teams, definitely check his channel out. He does a lot of shows talking in particular about the Mets and the Knicks. So I appreciate you coming by, man. I definitely do. Thanks so much. Hope you can hang with us for a little while, even though it's going to be pretty Jets heavy going forward here tonight. Yep. No games in Denver this year, so thank the Lord for that. Absolutely right. All right. So Elijah Vera Tucker, you know you'll have him. The question is, what do you have around him? Well, as far as backups, you have two youngsters in Carter Warren and Max Mitchell. I think the Max Mitchell experiment is running his course. I think he is playing for his job, for his spot on the roster during over this upcoming summer. I think it's just a bummer. The blood clots. I don't think he's ever quite gotten over that situation. So hopefully this is an off season where he can really train, figure out what he needs to do. I'm not giving up on him yet, but he has to at least emerge as a credible option as a backup, like a credible swing tackle this year. And Carter Warren, didn't have a great year, but I think at this point that Carter Warren, I feel like, was Max Mitchell the year prior. The idea was for him to come in redshirt, because Carter Warren missed some time in college at Pittsburgh with an injury. It was not supposed to be a situation where he was playing a whole heck of a lot. Now, he still did better than some of the other stiffs that we put in there, like Billy Turner and Xavier Newman and guys like that. So, you know what? I think Warren and Mitchell, they could very well be fighting for one roster spot if they don't get going. Or maybe you can move Max Mitchell inside to guard. These are things that especially Keith Carter has to figure out. I really hope there's a plan for these two guys. I'm not counting on either of them to be starters, but at this point, you have to figure out where they work best and put them in a position to be their best. Show them how to get there. I know you got to focus. Yep, I know you're losing some free agents between Barkley and McKinnon. Xavier McKinley, the safety. So it'll be very interesting to see what Big Blue winds up doing. No doubt about it. Oh, by the way, please do not go after Bryce Huff. Thank you very much. All right, so that's pretty much what we're looking at as far as what we have incoming. So there is definitely a huge need at tackle. We're pretty much sure Mekhi Becton is gone. We know Dwayne Brown is gone as well. So now it is time to look at what is available on the market. And by the way, guys, yes, we will be doing trivia a little bit later on tonight. Might do a mock draft or two. Depends on how the likes are doing in the chat. So, hey, you want to get the wheel out? You want to do a mock draft? Yeah, definitely hit that thumbs up. Well, let's talk about some tackles the Jets could target in free agency. My initial intention, I'll be honest with you, was to give you 10 tackles the Jets could target and rank them. The way that this class looks right now, that idea went out the window. We are not going to do 10 tackles. We're just going to do 6. That's about all I got for you tonight, okay? There's certain guys I'm not going to talk about. Josh Jones from Houston, and there's a guy from Pittsburgh with a name with too many consonants that I can't pronounce. We're not going to talk about him, Cam Fleming, guys like that. We're just going to talk about 6 right now. Okay, number 6. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Jonah Williams of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, a lot of people are somewhat interested. There's people who like him. There's people who really don't like him. There's a couple of things to say about Williams. And by the way, I put up the pass block grade and also the negative run block percentage grade, subtracted the two numbers for kind of like a total score. I mean, we try to evaluate offensive linemen pretty much any way we can. So this is just what we're doing. So Williams, very young, 26 years old. We know that the Jets like players coming off that first contract. He is ranked number 54 on the PFF free agent list. Pass block grade only 63.2. Not very impressive at all. Negative run block percentage grade 12.6. Okay. So a grade of 50.6 is not very impressive. Here's what you could say about Jonah Williams. He is durable. He plays every game. He gets better results at right tackle, though. He has allowed 8 sacks and 41 pressures and took 7 penalties over in the last 2 seasons. So he does not require a whole lot of analysis. He's a decent pass blocker at best who stays on the field. He's best suited for right tackle, but that is a position the Jets are going to be very suited to draft. So maybe Jonah Williams wants to go back to left tackle as Orlando Brown has taken that job in Cincinnati. I don't know if I could trust it. And I'm looking at the salary projection form on Spot Track, and it's 4 years, $64 million. I can't. Between the pass blocking ability, lack thereof, and the contract demand, I just can't trust Jonah Williams. That's why I've got him ranked at number 6 on this list, at the bottom. Number 5 for me is Jermaine Illuminor from the Raiders. He is 29 years old, ranked number 61 on the PFF free agent list. He has some versatility. He could play guard, he could play tackle, but he's best at right tackle. Again, these guys who are right tackle first, signing those guys as free agents, I'm not as big on it. Okay, now Luminor has played all 34 games for the Raiders the last 2 seasons, making 31 starts. He was their starting right tackle both years. And in 2023 in particular, he had 2 starts at left tackle, actually. Okay, so he did play a little bit at left tackle, better pass block grade 72, negative run block grade still very average at 12.6. That gives us a score of 59.4, so that's much better than Jonah Williams. But this year he allowed 6 sacks, 28 pressures, and took 6 penalties. Not great at the pass rush. So what really gives him issues, here's the thing though. What gives Illuminor issues is those bendy, quick edge rushers who get around the corner. And here's the example, Khalil Mack. All right. So Illuminor allowed half his sacks to Khalil Mack, 3 of them. And of the 28 pressures, 7 of them came from Khalil Mack. So he's got a problem with that type of an edge rusher. Okay. If you keep the Charger games out of it, if you wanted to do that, his pressure rate for the season drops to 4.1%, which is really, really good. But he handles the power well. He seems to be a starting caliber offensive lineman. But you gotta wonder about these Raiders when they get these players when they get to the Raiders as offensive linemen. Even Greg Van Roten became a credible offensive lineman when he got to the Raiders. Andre James, he's become pretty good, and now he's a very sought after center. Is Jermaine the same situation? I think he's a good offensive lineman, but I worry that it could be Laken Tomlinson Part 2. His projected contract is 2 years, $14.5 million. I think this is a little bit risky, so I can't give it to Jermaine Illuminor. He's number 5 for me on this list. Number 4 is going to be Trent Brown from the New England Patriots, 31 years old, number 22 on the PFF free agent list. Very good pass block grade of 76.4, negative run block grade of 11.7. We want that number low, so that's a 64.7 total score. Brown allowed 3 sacks, 17 pressures, and took 3 penalties this year. The durability is a problem. He's topped 600 snaps only 1 time in the last 5 years, and he has these moments seemingly where he loses his temper, just loses control, and that didn't fly with Bill Belichick. Trent Brown, to me, is very scheme-specific. He will fit very well in gap-heavy blocking, which I don't think the Jets do quite as much. He can stonewall defenders in pass protection. He can play left side. He can play right side, and that's really good. And I don't know if he's going to require a big contract because of the injury. So I'm thinking maybe 2 years, $15 million for Trent Brown. I'd go for it, but there are some red flags there. All right, on to number 3. He is not a free agent yet, but he will be in the next few days. David Bakhtiari from the Green Bay Packers. All right, now I didn't put any numbers up here from 2023 because there are no numbers to put up because he was hurt. 32 years old. He's played 13 games in 3 years, did not play at all in 2021 or 2023 due to knee injuries. He actually had some cartilage taken out of his knee this year. Now, he's going to have a $40 million cap hit if the Packers keep him. By releasing him, they save $21 million. So he is going to be gone. But he is a very, very close friend of Aaron Rodgers. He's a dominant pass blocker. All right. If you look at 2016 to 2020, not that long ago, all right, over 3,072 pass block snaps, over 3,000 pass block snaps, he allowed 101 pressures. That is a pressure rate of 3.29%. That would be the best pressure rate of any left tackle in the NFL this year. You name the guy, David Bakhtiari, over that time in his career would be better than any of them. The best this year, by the way, if you're wondering, was Tyron Smith. More on him in a moment, as we said. And then from 2021 to 2023, if we're looking at something a little more recent, he had only 369 pass block snaps and allowed 10 pressures. That's a pressure rate of 2.71%. That's even better than what he did when he was healthy. Okay, and all of those pressures were just hurries. He allowed no sacks or hits over the last 3 years. Also, he's a fine run blocker. He could do that well. He's a 5-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. But again, 5 knee surgeries in 3 years since he tore his left ACL back in 2020. All right, so the upside would be very, very high, but you have to wonder what he is at this point in his career. So Can I see the Jets bringing him in? Yes, but you better have a backup plan. You better have a swing tackle ready to go just in case there's an issue. But yeah, it would. I think it might be a worthwhile investment because he is just that good when he's healthy. All right, let's go on to number 2. And I'm thinking y'all probably know who the last two tackles are. Number 2 is Mike Onwenu, another New England Patriot. So he could play guard if needed. I think he gets the biggest contract of any offensive lineman in this class right now, certainly of any tackle. 26 years old, number 25 on the PFF list. Check out these numbers. He has played 1,548 snaps at right tackle, 1,425 snaps at right guard, and another 402 snaps at left guard, 92 more snaps as an extra lineman. So he can play in a number of spots, but he's never played left tackle in his career. That's important to mention. He will lock down a position on the right side for you. He will do that. His pass block grade 75.0, negative run block percentage 13.3, gives us a score of 61.7. In 2023, allowed 3 sacks, 23 pressures. That's about 1.5 pressures per game. That's not that bad. And had 4 penalties in 2023. That actually is a career worst for Onwenu. So he plays very, very clean. Okay, so he was drafted in the 6th round back in 2020. He's been moved all over the place. No injury history, which is really good. Now he's got huge size. He's 344 pounds. He's going to work in that gap-heavy offense. So if you want an athletic offensive lineman, this may not be who you want. Certainly not a tackle. You might want him at guard. Okay, there'll be a bidding war for his services. We know the Patriots want to keep him, and they're not going to tag him because they tag Kyle Duggar at safety. But the Patriots, I think, have the second most cap money in the NFL to spend. Here's the issue. The Jets have 3 starting spots to fill on that offensive line and limited cap space. Can they afford to spend that much of their cap space on one player, especially if it's not a left tackle? 4 years, $56 million is the projected contract. I think it could get higher. So because he's going to cost that much and he's not a left tackle, I've got him at number 2. So that's where I've got Mike Onwenu. Number 1 for me is Tyron Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. 33 years old, I don't care. Number 14 on PFF, free agent list, an 81.6 pass block grade. That is awesome. That is about as good as it gets. Negative run block grade, 11.5. That's a grade of 70.1 total. He is an 8-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro. When he's healthy, he cannot be penetrated. And this year, he played 942 snaps, including the playoffs. That's his highest total since 2018. That's right. One sack allowed. 1 quarterback hit allowed. 18 pressures allowed. 18 pressures on 942 snaps. That's awesome. All right. Also, his run block win rate, according to ESPN, really, really good. The 4th best among offensive tackles with a 79% run block win rate. 3 penalties taken all year. Now, you wonder about the injuries. Yes, that's a concern. I get it. Most of them have been lower body, knee, hamstring, ankle, a shoulder here and there. He's missed 49 games over the last 8 seasons. That's an average of 6 games missed per year. That's a concern. Last year, he took 1 year, $6 million to stay in Dallas. This year, I think he's going to want at least 2 years, and it's going to be about $10 million a year. If I'm the Jets, this is the first offensive lineman I go after. It's Tyron Smith. Because I don't want the Jets going into the draft needing a left tackle. Because we don't know if one is going to drop to number 10. We just don't know if that's going to happen. I want Tyron Smith as a New York Jet. So those are the tackles that I am looking at as far as the free agent market goes. And as you can see, it is not the most deep position when it comes to the free agent market this offseason. If you're looking for a defensive lineman, if you're looking for a safety, if you're looking for we're getting some cornerbacks shaken loose. You can find some pretty good ones. Avonte Maddox, Trey White, those guys have been let go. But offensive tackle going to be pretty challenging. All right, so now we're going to get sort of into the meat and potatoes, what I've spent a lot of time working on this week. We're going to talk the draft. Now, as I go through these names, if you've got thoughts on them, let me know. I do know that Rusty Spooner, he was actually here very, very early on, actually this afternoon. He dropped a comment about one player he particularly likes. So I'm going to mention who that one is in a bit because I happen to like that player as well. Well, let's talk tackles, and we're going to spend a good amount of time on this. 20 offensive tackles to watch in the 2024 draft because couldn't you see the Jets drafting a tackle late in the draft as well? Maybe a developmental tackle? I think we should go deep on this because I don't think the options are good in free agency. So we're going to get down and dirty with the offensive tackles. So let's talk a little bit of the draft. Thank you very much. All right, so now we are on the clock. So, all right, well, let's go to number 20. We're going to go from the bottom of the list, and the first player we're going to talk about is Nathan Thomas from Louisiana. Who? No, and not the one who makes the hot dogs either. So Nathan Thomas, 6'4", 331 pounds. This is a pretty solid run blocker. Okay, in 2023, allowed 5 pressures and 5 sacks on 382 passing snaps. He's very lean. Okay. He's got good upper body power. He'll really play through the whistle, takes very few penalties, plays very hard, but a very raw project. He doesn't have that desired pad level where he gets low and straightens up the defensive lineman, and the lateral movement is not very good. So that's why a lot of people are thinking if he makes it to the NFL, he's going into guard because he may not have the lateral quickness to counter speedy pass rushers. Another thing, his initial punch, while pass protecting, can become more of a forcible shove, sends his weight too far forward, throws him off balance, and then he's pretty much toast. So I don't know if he's going to get drafted, but if he does, it's going to be in the 7th round. Okay, on to the next one. Number 19 is Walter Rouse from the University of Oklahoma, 6'5", 319 pounds. Again, another offensive lineman who's more of a run blocker. Now, he has over 50 starts at left tackle in his career. This year had just 4 pressures allowed and 1 sack on 349 pass rushing snaps. With Rouse, it's all about power. All about power with him. He can move defenders at the point of attack. He's a steady pass protector. His footwork is clean. He's got good range. He uses his hands well. And also the strength and flexibility quite good. So he can get to the second level, and he keeps his balance very well when he gets to the second level of the defense. Keeping that wide base is a big reason why he does that. Now, as far as weaknesses here, he has very average foot quickness, especially coming off the line of scrimmage. So sometimes sealing the edge will be a problem for him against an edge rusher. He needs more lower body strength. His anchor can be knocked out by a really good bull rush, so he has to get stronger, especially in his lower body and in his core. He also, and this is not good, has a tendency to drop his head a little bit too much. And you cannot be dropping your head and leaning with your head as an offensive lineman. I'm seeing 7th round here most likely with Walter Rouse. But again, when the Jets are going to have multiple offensive line picks or multiple picks in the 7th round, you got to look for some projects to develop. So that's why I'm mentioning some of these guys. Number 18 is going to be Ladarius Henderson from Michigan, 6'5", 310 pounds, 22 years old, team captain, went to the Senior Bowl. He can play tackle or guard. He has 1,100 plays combined on the left side between tackle and guard. 2023 allowed 19 pressures and 2 sacks on 304 passing snaps. He has a very good frame, as you can see, very well proportioned, upper body, lower body. He uses that frame to really dominate the opposition. Now, as a run blocker, he is at his best going downhill, running in a straight line. He's got good short area explosion. He's got quick hands. If you hear about an offensive lineman working well in a phone booth, where it's that sort of like that combat, it's like that amateur wrestling combat, this is where Ladarius Henderson is going to thrive. He's going to fire out of the stance well, but then his blocks, they need a little bit of refinement. His technique is what needs help. All right. He isn't going to stay very well with a speedy pass rusher. He's not very fluid in the hips. He's a little bit stiff in his legs, and he plays a little bit too high. Needs to add more strength as well, more functional strength as well. I could see him going 6th round, maybe early in the 7th round. So Henderson can play on the left side for you. He's got good power, but he needs some technique, and he needs a little bit more. he has to maybe get a little bit lower with his pad level to really succeed in the NFL. Wow, great turnout in the chat tonight, by the way. Wow, we got a really good number going on here, man. Thanks so much for hanging out. Yeah, just want to say a quick thank you there. Number 17, Matt Goncalves from Pittsburgh. By the way, yes, I made every slide college team specific, right down to the hex color. So just to make it a little prettier, I don't know. But Matt Goncalves, 6'5", 317 pounds, 23 years old, plays both tackle positions. In 2023, had 3 pressures allowed and no sacks on 90 passing snaps. Very low number, and that's because he got injured very early in the season. In week 3, he wound up needing toe surgery. That cost him his whole season. But he's got a long reach with his arms, thick build. He keeps that wide base, has a very, very strong hands. Now, his lateral movement is not that good, so this is another one where speed rushers give him issues. All you need to look at is was guy Latu, the really talented pass rusher who's going to go in the first round. He gave Goncalves fits at the Senior Bowl. Okay, and once he loses his initial leverage, he struggles to re-anchor, to get his position back, to get his balance back. So he's got to maintain his blocks throughout the rep, not just make good initial contact. He's got some raw tools, but he's got a lot of work. He's very much a work in progress. I think he's going to go 5th round. I could even say early 6th, but that's what I see from Goncalves. But definitely a project. All right, number 16 is going to be Delmar Glaze from the Maryland Terrapins. 6'4", 322 pounds, 22 years old. Went to the Senior Bowl. In 2023, he allowed 9 pressures, 2 sacks on 396 passing snaps. Now, he is very reliable in pass protection. His hands pop well, uses very good fundamental technique, excellent footwork. This is one of those guys who has very good footwork. He's never over his feet. He's never too upright. He does that very well, has a good base, has very strong hands as well. Now, what he really needs here is more strength in the run game. He has to have the kind of strength where he can really run block well. He's good inside of that phone booth, but he lacks that high-end power to get to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have the explosiveness you would really want. And I think because he's not the most athletic offensive lineman, he could very well go to guard, but he will be an NFL pass protector from day one. He's that good at it. So Delmar Glaze is number 16. Couple quick hellos. Johnny Jimenez, my fellow Virginia Jets fan. I might be seeing him in a couple of weeks. It very well may be happening. All right. And Billy SBC, we don't sign players below the 3rd round, though. We don't sign players below the 3rd round. Are you talking about players we draft? Like from the 4th through 7th rounds? I mean, I think there's a couple who might get signed. Michael Carter, the second chief among them. So, we'll see. Ashton Davis might be. Well, Ashton Davis was a 3rd rounder. But, yeah. Good to see you, Billy. Good to see you. All right. That's number 16. Now, let's keep going. Number 15, and this is where I think the level of play starts to step up a little bit, is the top 15. And it's Roger Rosengarten, who I believe was also the kid pitcher in the movie Rookie of the Year way back when. Was it? Rosengarten, you're up. Go. That was Rowan Gardner, excuse me. All right, but anyway, he went to Washington, 6'6", 290 pounds, smooth as butter. Allowed 8 pressures, no sacks on 411 passing snaps. He has excellent quickness out of his stance, great punch timing and placement to displace the pass rusher. He knows how to pass protect. He will be ready to do that very, very quickly. He understands angles, which not a lot of these linemen necessarily do. Okay? So he knows how to use his hands. He has very quick feet. He's ready to pass protect right now. Now, in the run game, he's very athletic. He's very mobile, so he can get outside on screens and wide zone runs. He's going to do that well. He's going to get to the 2nd level very effectively. Now, what he needs to do is add a little more run blocking strength, which he could definitely do. He may not be quite as explosive as some of the others in this class. He has good speed, but maybe not the quick burst you would want. I'd say Roger Rosengarten is well suited for a zone offense, and he's going to be a right tackle in the NFL. I will say this. I have seen some draft people rank him as maybe their 6th or 7th favorite tackle. I'm not quite that high on him, but I think you have some good raw tools to rank here. And again, the tackle class in the draft is fantastic this year. there could be 7 or 8 tackles going in the first round. So to be the number 15 tackle on this list, there's really not a whole lot of shame. I've got him going in the 4th round, possibly early in the 5th. So I think he's going to be an early day 3 pick. All right, number 14, I bet a lot of people know this next player. It's Garrett Greenfield from the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. 6'7", 320 pounds, a big man, 24 years old. In 2023, allowed 7 pressures and 2 sacks on 352 passing snaps. He had his pressure rate was just below 3%, which is excellent. I mean, 4 to 6% is good. 3, really good. So he has been rising up the ranks very, very quickly ever since the college football season ended. The combine has been very good to him. The senior, I think the Shrine Bowl, I think it was at the Shrine Bowl, and that went very well for him. He actually no, he was at the Senior Bowl, excuse me. He had a 38.5-inch vertical leap. That is the highest ever by an offensive lineman at the combine. Plenty of experience, has started 4 years. He knows how to play left tackle. He's got a great size and length combination, well proportioned between the upper body strength and the lower body strength. Very physical run blocker. He will dominate at the point of attack. He has a very, very fast first step, very, very explosive, smooth movement, great competitor. He loves to take a defender and take him down to the ground. I'm actually surprised how many offensive linemen don't necessarily finish the rep out. Greenfield will do that. Now, needs to get a little bit lower, a little more bendability, a little more core strength. That would definitely help him. And he needs to improve his anchor to handle pass protection against power rushers. He can handle the speed, but he's got to handle the power a little bit more. And you do have to wonder a little bit about the level of competition playing for South Dakota State. He'll be in a backup role to start his career, but this is a very, very good developmental prospect. I've got him going in the 4th round. Johnny with a question for me. Prez, what are we doing in free agency? Should we bring in Runyon? I would bring in John Runyon. I think the Jets are going to bring in 2 offensive linemen and a wide receiver. That is my personal thought. I think they'll probably go a little bit cheaper. I think at defensive line, maybe even safety. I think they'll go after maybe the second wave of safeties. But I definitely think that Tyron Smith will be on the wish list. But if they could there's a lot of good guards out there. No doubt about it. Hunt, Zeitler, Dotson, a couple of others as well. I think Hurst as well from New Orleans. But Runyon did play with Aaron Rodgers. So I would be open to that. If you're bringing in another offensive lineman, if you're bringing another one in for big money and you want to bring Runyon in as the second one, I would go for it. Yeah, I'd be cool with that. Runyon can play. Runyon can play pretty well. Yeah, I'm down with that. All right, so Garrett Greenfield is my number 14 offensive tackle. Wild Wave just wants to get Cam Robinson and Kevin Dotson. Hey, that wouldn't be too bad. That wouldn't be too bad. Robinson hasn't officially. Is Robinson officially on the market yet? I've heard the rumors it was going to happen. I don't know if he's actually been let go yet. But Dotson, yes, that would be a very, very appealing target, no doubt. All right. Number 13 is going to be Javon Foster from Missouri, 6'5", 309 pounds. This year allowed 12 pressures, 1 sack on 401 passing snaps. Went to the Senior Bowl. Again, this is more of a right tackle, but a very athletic right tackle. He's got a big frame. He really uses his body weight to win reps. Great arm length, 34.25 inches. He has to learn how to use them at a higher level, though. He is very smart, reacts well to stunts and twists. With the run game, he gets off the line very well to win with his hands. He uses his arm length well in the ground game, not so much in the passing game. All right. Now, he's not overly powerful. His initial jolt can knock his opponents off balance. What he's got to do, he's got to add some muscle, and he has to handle counters well, counter pass rushes, especially inside. All right, so I think that's going to go a long way towards Javon Foster earning snaps at the next level. I think he's also going to go in the 4th round, early 5th round. He played a little bit better competition than Greenfield did. But again, Greenfield, Foster, I think both of them are on a pretty similar level. All right, so that's number 13. Let's see what's Johnny got to say here. Left tackle, want Smith or Bach? All right, guard Runyon, C. Tidman, guard ABT, right tackle Flaga or Latham or another draft pick. Hey, sign me up for that. I'm willing to bet that neither Jets starting tackle is on the team right now. At least I sincerely hope not. I mean, I would like to put AVT at guard if I had my way, but it's going to be easier to get guards than it is tackles. So let's see what happens. But the one thing I think I might switch Runyon and AVT. I put AVT at left guard and Runyon at right guard. I think Runyon played more right guard in Green Bay, right guard, because anything less would be uncivilized. All right, I'm breaking out old Hulk Hogan deodorant commercials. What are you going to do? All right. That's Javon Foster. Number 12 is Blake Fisher from Notre Dame. There's quite a few people that have him ranked higher than this. I'm not loving what I'm seeing from him. This year allowed 7 pressures, 5 sacks on 397 passing snaps, 6'6", 312 pounds, 21 years old. Played all 710 of his collegiate snaps this year at right tackle. He has a lot of experience in both gap and zone, which I do like. Has fantastic hands, very, very, very strong. His run game ability is very, very good. He's been coached very well. He knows how to get leverage. He knows how to use his hands properly to restrict pass rushers. And his way he uses his hands, that's what's really grown over the last year or two with Blake Fisher. Okay. Now he has long arms that helps keep the pass rushers at bay. What people are really worried about is countering speedy pass rushers. That's a bit of a concern. He could stand to gain some leg strength. Also, he dropped up quite a bit of weight over a sophomore season. That may have hurt his level of play this year. It was like Fisher was actually better in his sophomore year than in his junior year. But he's still a very good project. Definitely has some good ability. I think he's going to go in the 4th round. Wild Waves, given his projected offensive line, he wants Cam Robinson, Kevin Dotson, Joe Tippmann, rookie. Wait a second here. Robinson, Dotson, Tippmann at guard. He wants a rookie at right guard. Okay, and then AVT at right tackle. Interesting. Okay, so we're not looking at a rookie tackle starting with Wild Wave. He wants to just go for the guard. Okay, like a Christian Haynes or a Cooper Beebe or that kind of a player. Maybe get that guy in the 3rd round. That's a different way to do it, but yeah, it could. That's an interesting way to do it. It could work. Good work. Number 11, he's a favorite of, I know somebody in this chat, and it's Christian Jones. There we go. 6'6", 325 pounds. As I put in the wrong picture, I apologize about that. That's the wrong picture. All right. I had to change all these pictures, and I put the wrong one in there as I suddenly realized that. All right. At 325 pounds, went to the Senior Bowl. He has amazing measurables. 35-inch arms, big hands, started 40 games this year, played both tackle spots, allowed 8 pressures and no sacks on 417 passing snaps. He gets a very quick first step, which I like. He generates a lot of power along the line of scrimmage, and he does a good job moving his feet. He really works to finish the block and drive the defender down along the line of scrimmage. Pass protection, he's got good arm length, so he makes that good initial contact with defenders. He can keep the pass rusher at bay, and he likes to make them sort of like go around, to round the arc, so to speak. He does play a little bit high. He needs to maintain a deeper base, and he lunges a little bit too much at defenders. He has to, stay balanced, not get over-eager, just stay in control. So that mental side of his game, he has to work on that. I think Christian Jones will be a 4th round pick. Maybe right at the end of the 3rd round, but I think 4th round makes sense. All right. Yeah. And yeah, Modine B, left tackle, Bugs Bunny, left guard, Bugs Bunny, center, Bugs Bunny, right guard, Bugs Bunny, right tackle, Bugs Bunny. So the offensive line will be addressed. So number 10, let's get to the top 10. It's Kieran Amagaji. Yes, I pronounced it. There we go. I had to work on that name. But it's Amagaji. Okay. 6'5", 321 pounds. He went to Yale University. How about that? In 2023, allowed 3 pressures and no sacks on 129 passing snaps. So he has great athleticism, power, and physicality to be an NFL starter. His arms are 36 3/4 inches, which is really, really good. Natural athlete, explosive off the line. It is very difficult to bull rush Kieran because he has great raw strength and he can drop his hips very well to set up a very good anchor. He's got a good mean streak, plays very, very aggressively, may require a little bit of restraining, as a matter of fact, from his coaches, because he can get a little bit over aggressive at times. Sometimes his over-aggressiveness has led to missed blocks in the run game, especially getting to the second level. So he has to learn a little bit of patience. Plus, he has a tendency to sort of duck his head a little bit, and he did tear his quadricep earlier on. That's why we didn't really see him during the All-Star circuit, but he will be making a full recovery. So he still has to learn to use his hands a little bit better. His placement, he's got the power, but the placement can be a little inconsistent, and he's still learning how to really use his hands effectively. All right. And of course, when you go to Yale, you're playing Ivy League level competition. That's something you got to factor in as well. But there is some definite raw talent here. Definitely, this is a great piece of clay to work with. You just got to have the right potter to mold it. So Kieran Amagaji is my number 10 tackle. All right, are we getting excited? We're getting to the cream of the crop here. Number 9 is going to be PP Patrick Paul from Houston, 6'7", 315 pounds, 23 years old, and a team captain. We know the Jets love their team captains. In 2023, allowed 7 pressures and no sacks on 495 passing snaps. Went to the Senior Bowl. His brother Chris Paul, not the point guard, plays guard for Washington, for the Command Skins. Now, what Paul is probably best at is his patience and pass protection. He doesn't give himself up too early. He has great control of his own body. He really forces the defender to make the first move, and Paul is quick enough to respond to it and counter it. Coaches love his attitude. They love his leadership. Long arms, great wingspan, great on stunts. He's only allowed 4 sacks in 5 years. That's pretty dang good. That is pretty good. Now, where he struggles is his natural athleticism. He's a good run blocker, but he's not the freakish athlete who's going to, get to the second level very easily like some of these other tackles will. All right. He has limited agility and limited bend at the waist, which is also a bit of a problem. And sometimes his hand strikes are a little bit inaccurate, especially in the second level. That needs some coaching. So for Patrick Paul to be a really, really effective player, he is going to have to rely on more than just his size and work on his technique with his hands and with his feet. And the other thing, he took 27 penalties in his, I think, in the last 2 seasons. So penalty prone. That's a concern as well. But he is going to be taken pretty early. I'm going to say second round, maybe even early in the third round. Jess Metz just wants a jerk on the Jets. Hey, we can always bring Jamal Adams back. I know they have no interest. But hey, if you got too many captains, what's the saying? You have too many captains running the ship. Yeah, but I think these people know their roles. All right, number 8. Well, you know what? We had a Kieran Agamaji a moment ago. Now we have a Patrick Paul. Let's go back to another very difficult name to pronounce. It is Kingsley Suamatea from BYU. I know we're talking about the possibility of a BYU player. Everybody moan together. Let's let it all out. All right, but Kingsley Suamatea, 6'4", 320 pounds, 21 years old. In 2023, allowed 17 pressures and 2 sacks on 383 passing snaps. Now, he can play left tackle or right tackle. That's something that we can't say about a lot of these prospects. Fantastic athlete. He is showing off top-notch strength. He is really showing impact as a run blocker right from the beginning. He has very good short area burst, very powerful hands. He works throughout the play, works until the whistle and maybe even past the whistle. But he also has good lateral movement. He gets to the second level beautifully, is very good on quick pulls, very good on screens. Now, he's a little bit raw in the pass protection, but he's getting better at it. He's explosive out of the pass sets. He mirrors the defender well in pass protection, and he handles stunts quite well. What he needs to do is not overextend his upper body so much. Sometimes he struggles to keep defenders within his grip, and he has to keep his balance. He's got to move his feet more to stay in balance and not lunge, not extend himself. So some of the technical parts of his game do need to be cleaned up, but there's a lot of talent and upside. If you want a player comp, I've been seeing Austin Jackson of the Miami Dolphins. So Suamatea, I think, could go in the second round, early in the third. So that is my number 8 tackle. Elon came here to say that Tyron Smith is on his way to the Chiefs and he will enjoy his time. Don't the Chiefs eventually have to deal with some salary cap issues themselves? Oh, boy. And Dane's wondering if that's all that Elon came here to say. I'm willing to bet that Elon's got more to say than just that. I'm pretty confident. All right, let's go on to number 7. And this is a player that was mentioned at the beginning of the show. I know Rusty Spooner likes him a lot. I happen to like him a lot too. And it's Jordan Morgan from the Arizona Wildcats. 6'5", 311 pounds, 22 years old. Another team captain. So Jets Mess already hates him. But in 2023, allowed 15 pressures, 2 sacks on 477 passing snaps, went to the Senior Bowl. He was set to be a first-round pick in 2023 before tearing his ACL. He returned to school to prove he's healthy. Now he's good, and his prospects are looking very, very good. He's big. He's physical. He's a marvelous athlete. He ran the 40-yard dash at the combine in 5.05. That, for a tackle, that's elite. He anchors against bull rushes beautifully well. He is very consistent. He was very durable up until the ACL injury, and he controls his body very, very well. That's why he's been so consistent. He uses his feet very, very well. He has great lateral movement, times his hands well, can pull very well into space. So he knows how to get leverage. He knows how to establish his dominance. Now, on the negative side, we mentioned the ACL tear, but he is recovering very well from that, as we saw at the combine, so he's looking good there. The arm length is not ideal. Some scouts like him a little bit more as a guard. Okay, so that's something to worry about. And there is room to improve the angles he'll take in pass protection against speed rushers, but these are more technical tweaks. So Jordan Morgan is going to be more of a zone scheme fit, but he definitely looks to be a long-term starter in the NFL. I definitely think he's gone in the second round. I like Morgan quite a bit. A team may want to move him into guard, and they can do that. But I think Morgan is going to be a very, very good offensive lineman. Number 6. All right, it seems like at this point, this is where everybody starts breaking everybody down. It's like people will talk about, okay, I've got 6 guys I really like. So Wild Wave with 2 points. Very good. Very good. Number 6 is going to be Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, our second Oklahoma tackle on this list. 6'7", 322 pounds, 22 years old. In 2023, allowed 12 pressures, no sacks on 355 snaps. Did very well at the Senior Bowl. Now, back in 2022, played right tackle right across from Anton Harrison, who was a first-round pick, and Guyton kind of emerged as a natural pass blocker. Now, there's not a lot of tape on him because he's had only 549 pass blocking snaps in his career. But this past season, 2023, he really blossomed. You cannot teach his length, his arm length. You cannot teach his foot quickness. He's a fantastic athlete. He keeps his balance very well. He's a very nasty run blocker. He fires off the line of scrimmage very well. And when he has a chance to pancake a defender, he's going to do it. He is definitely going to do that. Now, there's room in a couple places. He has to engage his hands in the run game a little bit better. He has to take better angles when he works his way upfield. Also, he plays a little bit high, especially in the run game. Okay? So sometimes he can get attacked, and the defender has more room to grab, and sometimes he can get out leveraged at the point of attack. I think there's a little bit of volatility with him. There's definitely boom potential, but there's a little bit of bust potential. I think this is a situation where you want to have the right coach, and Guyton can be really good, and then those flashes of dominance will happen more consistently. But I think he goes early in the second round, worst case scenario. I don't think he gets past pick 40. And I think it's even possible he would go late in the first round. All right, let's go on to the top 5. Here we go. Number 5 for me is going to be Amarius Mims from Georgia. 6'8", 340 pounds, 21 years old. 2 pressures and no sacks on 168 passing snaps. Damn, these pictures didn't work as well as I wanted them to. All right, I got to work on my import on importing these pictures correctly. Anyway, Amarius Mims, he has all the potential in the world. Maybe the best left tackle after the big 2 of Fashanu and Alt. He's big, he's strong, he has heavy hands, he has a good base, he has very good athleticism for his enormous size. Great power, great core strength. You can't drive him backwards. It is damn near impossible to do that. He has a very accurate strike with his hands. great grip strength. But he's also, this is what's good. He's also very flexible. He gets a wide base, but can keep a flat back to generate even more power and leverage than you might expect. Very smart player too. He handles blitzes well, handles stunts well. He is very rarely caught off guard by a delayed blitz. One penalty in 30 games only. That's also a very good positive as well. The issue is we just have not seen a whole lot of him on the field. He missed a large chunk of the season due to an ankle injury. Some teams are worried that he sits north of 335 pounds and over 3 years has 803 total snaps. That's not a whole lot. Also, if you want to play a zone offense, Amarius Mims has practically no experience playing in the outside zone. He has to handle inside counters a little bit better. They confuse him. So his talent level, absolutely first round level. But he's had some injuries. He has a lack of experience. And considering what we've been through as Jets fans and also weight issues, that has to be a bit of a concern. But he can play either tackle position. It's just his consistency that's got me worried. But he is absolutely all pro potential if he hits. Absolutely can be. I definitely think he goes in the first round. So I definitely like Mims. I just don't know if he's the right fit at this time with the Jets. Number 4, here's where I might aggravate a few people, but that's okay. J.C. Latham from Alabama. A lot of my contemporaries like Latham a little bit higher than this. I'm not quite there. Now, the size is the first thing that stands out. 6'6", 342 pounds. He lost about 15 pounds before the combine. So, hey, I give him credit for taking some weight off. He is 21 years old, and in 2023 had 14 pressures, 2 sacks allowed on 443 passing snaps. This is the strongest offensive lineman in this class. I don't think there's much debate. His hands are like vice grips. His first punch is deadly. Once he latches onto the defender is done for the play. It's lights out. He's ferocious. He's nasty. He's a dominant run blocker. As a run blocker, he ranks 7th among tackles in college football with a 79.6 run blocking grade. That also included an 86 zone blocking grade, also ranked 7th in the country. So he moves very well for his size. He keeps that pad level very low in pass protection, which makes him very good at that as well. He allowed a 3.2% pressure rate in 2023. That tied for 27th out of 200 qualified tackles in college football. 21. Now, here are a couple of things I'm not in love with. 21 penalties taken in 2 years. Some of the issues with that, false starts have been an issue. Also, his hands can get a little bit wide in the run game, and that leads to a lot of holding calls. All right, so he has to keep his balance better, has to get his foot quickness going. And my concern is I don't know if he's a left tackle. I don't know if he has the speed, if he has the flexibility that you really want from a left tackle. He's also got to sustain blocks better. I wonder about his motor, about his sustaining of a block. All right, I think Latham will work best in a power-dominated scheme. You want him in that phone booth as opposed to him moving laterally. But he's a very big man. He's very physically dominating, very, very high upside, but there is some risk as well. All right, so I don't know if he's going to be quite the right fit for the Jets, but I can see him working out very well. He will definitely be a top 20 draft pick. All right, so I've got Latham as number 4. Alon continuing to bring the positivity along with Mo. I think Alon is actually Mo's burner account. I think that's actually what's going on here. He has Pittsburgh signing Tyler Boyd, even though Pittsburgh's got quite a few receivers already. But okay, they can bring in Boyd if they want and bring in a quarterback. Or trade for Fields. All right, well, we should see what will happen. And he also doesn't like Latham very much. Okay. Yep, Latham could go inside the guard too. Yeah, you got to have some pretty quick feet if you're going to play tackle. All right, number 3 for me is going to be Talise Fuaga from Oregon State, 6'5", 324 pounds. In 2023, allowed 13 pressures and no sacks on 351 passing snaps. 351 passing snaps. All right, team captain, went to the Senior Bowl. Maybe the most pro-ready of any tackle prospect, I think, along with Joe Alt. The more I watched Fuaga, the more I liked him. He is just a mauler. And I think kind of what might be going on right now is I think Jets fans were initially really into Fuaga, But then you have to move on to the next prospect, and all of a sudden now they're in love with J.C. Latham. But I am still true to the orange right here, to Lise Fuaga. He plays violently. He is a mauler, especially in the run game. He has the size, length, the physical strength that relates really well on the field, but he's super athletic too. In the run game, he kicks ass, and he is not a guard. No. This is no guard. So he, as a run blocker, he led all FBS tackles with a 90.9 PFF grade. Gets to the second level as well as anybody. Pass protection, still very good, very, very smooth. Handles power rushers very well, and that's because of his athleticism and his arm length. He had a 3.4 pressure rate allowed. That's 39th out of 199 tackles, but he did not allow any sacks. So can't go wrong with that. As a matter of fact, Fuaga has not allowed a single sack in 3 years of playing college football. It was very hard to find another tackle who moves defenders out of place like Fuaga does. He's quick, he's powerful, the hand placement matched with fluid hips. He's never on the ground. He is almost never on the ground. Now, if I had to give you a couple of concerns, the arms are a little bit shorter, 33 and they're about 33.1 inches. You'd like him to be a little more flexible, and that's why he's playing the right side. And his footwork has been a little bit inconsistent. So some do see him playing inside, but I think he's got the movement skills and the balance to play right tackle, and he can play any scheme you want. Gap, zone, whatever you want. I've even seen comparisons to Tristan Wirfs between the scheme versatility, the size, the strength, the physical mindset. So to me, Talise Fuaga would be a fantastic draft pick for the Jets at number 10. I've got him going in the top 20, but I really think it's going to be top 15. Top 15 for sure, but most likely top 10. Okay, and then we've got two left. Number 2 for me is going to be Olu Fashanu from Penn State. 6'6", 317 pounds, 21 years old. This year allowed 10 pressures, no sacks on 382 passing snaps. I think Fashanu could end up being the best offensive tackle in this class. I think his upside is that high. Has the speed, has the power, has the awareness, has the passion for football. He is probably the best pure pass blocker out of the bunch. He's got the prototypical left tackle measurables. The concern that you have, he does have pretty small hands. They're about 8.5 inches. That's about 2 inches smaller than any of the top 5 or 6 tackles. But he uses a wide base, punches very, very hard, swivels his hips to recover very well, knows how to recognize stunts, very impressive lateral ability. So he reacts to counters very well. Now his pressure rate, 2.6 pressure rate, that counted good enough for 12th among 200 tackles, allowed the 2 sacks this year. His run blocking needs a little bit of development. It's not as high as the other tackles. His run blocking grade was 70.5. That was 37th among tackles. And his base can narrow a little bit as the running play progresses. So he's got to stay a little bit lower to really drive that defensive end. All right. When he's run blocking, he's at his best when he can use his athleticism, when he works to the second level and gets into that second spot where he's spotting a defender and just rolling them over. But I put Fashanu ahead of Fuaga primarily because he's a little bit more polished at the pass blocking and he's the left tackle. All right, so that is why I've got Fashanu at number 2. And number 1, who could this possibly be? It's Joe Alt. 5 pressures allowed and 1 sack allowed on 368 passing snaps. 6'9", 321 pounds, 21 years old, team captain. His dad is in the Chiefs Hall of Fame, played 13 years with the Chiefs. He has played 2,200 snaps in his college career and 1,100 pass blocking snaps. And on those 1,100 snaps, he's allowed 24 pressures and 4 sacks. That's a sack every 275 snaps or every 5 to 6 games. Mo, I'm not even going to comment on what you just said. Not even going to go there. Let's not do that. No. Islanders can definitely play it. Look at Puka Nacua. That's all I'm going to say to you. All right? Come on. But Joe Alt is as technically sound as just about any offensive tackle you will find. Plays with consistency, gets leverage. He's very quick, keeps good balance, has the speed, good on the move, second-level blocker, played for a very good program. I guess if you had to find out anything negative, he could he still has some room to fill out his frame, gain a little bit more strength, but he checks every box that you can want from an offensive tackle. He has probably about the highest floor, realistically. I think there are other tackles with higher upsides than Joe Alt, but this is about as safe a pick as you could realistically have in this draft. So that's what I would say. Joe Alt will definitely go, in my mind, in the top 5. If he gets past Tennessee, I will be absolutely floored. All right, guys. So that is it. Your top 20 tackles in the draft. So, hey, now we all know what we can be looking at. There's a good chance the Jets will take one in the first round, but maybe they take one a little bit later with one of their later picks. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that, and so we're gonna do a couple other things here tonight too. But just keep in mind, let's see how we're doing on likes. We're at 14 likes. All right, so we definitely need and we got plenty of people in the chat, so we need a little bit more to dig the wheel out. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and do what we do every Wednesday night, right about this time. We go deep into the books, onto the interweb, into the dark web, into the Jets dark web is where we really go. And we find a challenging Jets trivia question, and I give it to you, the knowledgeable Jets fans, the real Jets fans, the ones who know this franchise. And now it is my time. It is my turn to give you that question. Time for Jets trivia. Okay, guys. So as you know, we try to keep the trivia questions about as relevant as we can to what's going on at the moment. So right now, it's all about draft season. So I've got a Jets trivia question again that relates to the draft. All right, so I'm going to put that on the screen right now, and we'll set the timer for 5 minutes, and let's see how we do. Last week, you guys killed it. You named Demario Davis in like 30 seconds, so I had to make it a little bit harder this time. So let's see what happens. All right. There was a draft when the Jets selected 2 players from the University of Miami, Florida. Your job is to name the year and name the players. All right. All right, so let's get the music going. I tried cheating. I tried putting it in ahead of time, and they still didn't like it, so I have to put it in after the show is over. No Googling, that's right. Bo hates everybody. Hawk says, where's Ricky? I don't know. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's good. Let's make sure you can hear me. Dano says one was a quarterback. Dane, I can tell you that is not correct. Neither of these players was a quarterback. Have the Jets ever drafted a quarterback from Miami? I can't think of one. Maybe some obscure one back in 1966, but yeah, I can't think of. I'm thinking about the Jets quarterbacks. I can't think of one that went to Miami. HG says, is it the year we took Marcus May? No, you got to go back a little further than that. Oh, you were thinking Florida State. Okay. Wild Wave says Jonathan Vilma in 2005. I can tell you Jonathan Vilma is correct, but you're 1 year off. And then you got one more player to name without looking it up. The Wild Wave, very, very good start. All right, so yes, Jonathan Vilma was one of the players, of course, drafted in the first round. Now, who was the other player? Yep, Wild Wave, yep, 2004. So it was 2004, and Elon finishes it off. 2004, it was Jonathan Vilma and Darren McClover. Guys, fantastic job. Yep, so that is the correct answer. Vilma and McClover in 2004. McClover became mostly a special teams player and special teams linebacker. And, yeah, didn't last too long with the Jets. I think he kind of moved on to some other spots, but yeah, you guys killed it. Man, last 2 weeks, I was worried I was making the questions too hard. Apparently, I'm making them too easy now. Man, I got to find the happy medium here. So, yeah, great job. All right. So let's see. Yes, Alon with the last second Google. Possibly. Hey, he's the one who has to sleep with. The one who has to sleep with himself tonight. So, yeah. So, Jets mess. Are you going to do a draft tonight? Yeah, of course we're going to do a mock draft tonight. I know we're giving you a hard time. I didn't expect too many people to know Daryl McClover though. I did not expect that was going to happen. So that actually is pretty dang good. Okay, let's do this. You know what? We did the draft with the wheel last time. I tell you what we'll do. We'll do one mock draft, and then we will spin the wheel. We'll do a top 10 list because by this time next week we'll have a better idea of what the Jets have been doing in free agency. So really, next week we're going to talk about the first couple of days of free agency, talk about what's going on. So I think for tonight we're going to break out one of the old school wheels. Let's break out the 100 Jets players and let's create our top 10 list. Let's do that. We haven't done it in a couple weeks. All right. All right, so I'll write down the 1 through 10, but we'll do the mock draft first. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the presenting. So I'm going to share my screen with everybody. All right, and we're going to allow that and go straight to the simulator. All right, so I'm going to check on my phone here to make sure everything is looking the way that it should. All right, now if you guys need me to zoom in or anything like that, let me know and I'll do that. Let's do it. Let's see if we can. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to do a standard mock draft. I've got the Jets already selected, 7 rounds. We're going to enter the draft, and let's see what happens. All right. So with the first, by the way, all right, so I'm going to say this. I want to keep this somewhat realistic, so I'm going to keep I'm not going to start the draft until we get 3 quarterbacks selected. So as long as Jalen Daniels is still an option, yeah, we are going to. I'm going to make sure that the 3 quarterbacks are selected. Close. Okay. Jane Daniels goes again, guys. I'm gonna make sure that we get 3 quarterbacks taken here. All right, let's see. Okay, there goes Daniels. Okay. No, stop being so negative. Come on. All right, so already off the board is Caleb Williams, Joe Alt, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Olu Fashanu, Brock Bowers, Dallas Turner, Jane Daniels, and Malik Neighbors. So we have the 10th pick. Obviously, Latham is on the board. Fawaga is on the board as well. Roma Dunze, if we want to go wide receiver, is an option for us. All right, so let's take a look at the trade offers and see what's out there. So we have 2 trade offers, one from the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals want us to move back 17 spots to 27, but they will also give us the number 35 pick, and we also have to throw in number 257. Basically, we'd be throwing in Mr. Irrelevant. It would hurt to go down 17 spots, but you'd have 2 very, very good picks. I don't think that's a bad trade. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. And number 2 is going to be for the Rams. Oh, this is a good one too. Number 10 for numbers 19 and 52. So in both of these situations, we would get a second round draft pick, one quite a bit earlier than the other. So we could trade 10 for 19 and 52, or we could trade 10 and 257, big deal, for 27 and 35. So 19 and 52 or 27 and 35. This is pretty good. I gotta tell you, I like a Dunze, I like Fawaga, but I'm tempted to take one of these trades and see what we can make happen. Quick hello to Ryan Jett. Good to see you here. So, guys, you tell me. Do you want to go Rams, Cardinals, or draft? Yeah, we're gonna be a little bit split on this one. See, this is why I wish I could put a poll up here, but it just doesn't allow me to do it. All right, Ryan Jett likes the Rams trade. Harlan likes the Rams trade. Mo likes the Cardinals trade, which is a good sign we should not do it. Uh, all right. So, yep, Jay wants to go with the Rams as well. Okay. Hawk says at 27, maybe we can get JPJ. I got to I think in this system, I think he's ranked 20th, if I'm not mistaken. 20, 20, 22. Okay. So we could potentially get JPJ in that spot. All right. Well, I think the Rams are where everybody wants to go. Let's see. You know what? You know what I like to do? I'm a little bit greedy with these types of things. Let's just see if we can get him to. I'm not going to ask for an extra pick, but maybe we can work a little something out. Maybe we could get 177 for 187 too. That was declined. Okay. It was worth a try. All right. I'm going to accept this trade. Okay. All right. So Fuaga and Latham were both taken. Roma Dunze was taken, and Amarius Mims was taken by the Bengals one pick before we were scheduled to pick. All right, let's see what's available here. One trade offer, and it's Dallas wanting us to go back 5 spots, and they will also give us number 87. So this would be a pick at the end of the 3rd round, is what they would do. Now, Troy Fatano, see, Fatano to me is more of a guard. Yeah, even here, projected to be a guard at the next level. That's my thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about drafting a guard that early. That's a tough one. By the way, please do not say JJ McCarthy. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I don't think I'm doing that. JPJ would make a lot of sense. Tyler Guyton is an option. Now, after this, we don't have a pick until number 52. So we have 19, 52. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Then 72, 112, 114. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to ask you, do you want me to go with do you want to just go because we could probably we might be able to wait to get Guyton. We could go for Tanu, we could go JPJ, or we could take the trade or we could take this trade also. Do we want to trade back a little further and pick up another 3rd round spot? Chase saying Matanu or JPJ. Alan likes Fatanu. Ryan Jett likes Fatanu. Harlan likes JPJ. Hawk likes JPJ. Mo Dean says JJ is the next Tom Brady, meaning JJ is a cheat. Okay. Just for that, I don't want JJ. No, I don't think I'm not. There is no shot the Jets are taking a quarterback on that spot. Hawk says Fatano is a right tackle out of the box. It's just that most places I've seen have Fatanu projected to be a guard and not a tackle. So, all right, I'll tell you what. I feel like most people do not want to take the trade. All right, so I think at this point we're really looking at Tyler Guyton, JPJ, or Fatanu. I think it's going to be one of those 3. Hawk, I want to make a poll. I don't know. I cannot. I can't see. I've tried to. I don't know where to make a poll, man. I want to, but I can't. Wide receiver. I mean, I like Keon Coleman, but and I Mitchell, Xavier Worthy. We know he has speed, but we need a lot more than that. All right. Okay. Oops. Let me see if I could do this in the chat. I don't know if I could do this in the chat. God. I know Nick was somehow able to make a poll, but I can't. Yeah, I cannot figure it out. Brian Thomas. All right, guys. Here's what we're gonna do. I just have to go by your comments. So as of right now, we're gonna kind of start clean. So I'm gonna give you 3 names, and you all pick whichever name you want. Fatanu, JPJ, Guyton. We're gonna pick one of those 3 guys. So Fatanu, JPJ, or Guyton. Brian Robinson, yeah, Brian Robinson's good. Brian Robinson's pretty good too, but I think we could get Brian Robinson a little bit later. Yeah, where is? Wait a second, did Robinson already go? Yeah, Robinson went at 17. Yeah, Robinson's already gone. Wow. Okay, so Fatanu, I see a JPJ. All right, got a JPJ as well. So it definitely seems like we're leaning against Tyler Guyton. It looks like we definitely want to go with JPJ or Fatanu. Right now, it's pretty close. Yeah, I like the idea of if JP. So if you think about it, if JPJ's there, then you're moving Joe Timmon over to a guard spot. He probably is the best player on the board, in all fairness. Yeah, I haven't seen Furtado as much, but I'm gonna have to. I gotta really look at him and see if I figure out if I see tackle or guard. I just felt he was a guard. All right, okay, guys. I think that JPJ has the slight. It's pretty close, but I'm just gonna. We got to make a decision. I'm gonna go with JPJ because there's really, yeah. I don't know if there's another interior lineman quite like him. He's just fantastic. Okay, Carolina is making us a trade offer. I'm not really interested in this. I'm going to pass that one. Yeah, I want to make a pick here. Okay, so let's see some of the players who just went right before we did. Rook Aurora, yeah, Graham Barton, Johnny Newton, Trey Benson, Zach Frazier, Devondre Sweat, Cam Kitchens. Yeah, quite a few players that we talked about. JPJ says, who's playing left tackle? Well, I guess we'll have to get one in free agency. Hey, maybe, yeah, sign Bakhtiari, sign Tyron Smith. That'll be left tackle. All right, well, let's look at some players who are available. Now, you got Troy Franklin at wide receiver. Yeah, 6'2", 176. And now we got the RAS score now. So now we have some context here because we know we love our RAS scores, right? 6'2", 170. That's not overly physical. Creates good separation. Okay, more spread offenses. That could work. Malachi Corley, I love him, the Yak God. Really, really good. We could take Patrick Paul to play left tackle. Ooh, Jalen Polk, very, very good wide receiver. I like him a lot. 9.46 RAS. Yep, can play inside, outside for sure. Yeah, very smart player too. I gotta tell you, there's quite a few players here. I barely recognize their names because we're never looking at this spot in the draft. So we got 52, then we got 72. So let's see who we're looking at right here. Yeah, Troy Franklin's not getting to 52. I don't think he is either. Leonard Taylor, I like him, but I'm not looking at defensive tackle here. Corley, very, very appealing. If we want to get a tackle, we could go with Patrick Paul. If you want to go with the wide receiver, Jalen Polk is a very, very good fit. And at that point, I mean, we have pick 72. We might have a shot at Roman Wilson down the road. I still think we could get a really good wide receiver. If there's any position you want me to look at, let me know, guys. I'll check it out for you. Elon wants to know who took Lad McConkey. I think yeah, I guess McConkey's gone. Yeah. That was the Giants. Oh, great. Yep, the Giants did. Blame Big Blue. Wild Wave wants Patrick Paul so Elon can feel better. Okay. I think yeah. I mean, I think Corley, Paul, Polk. I think that's about yeah. I think there's about the three that we're really looking at. Um, what O line is left? Let's see. It's gonna be Paul, Rosengarten, Amagaji, Blake Fisher, Delmar Glaze. There's still some good offensive tackles we could get later on. I really do think that. And we took JPJ, so I'm not really looking at interior all that much. Although there are some good ones. Mason McCormick, I will say that's a sleeper. That's something I think I might talk about on a future video. McCormick, playing along with Greenfield, that's a pretty good combination. McCormick, I think, could be a sleeper in this draft. Just throwing that name out. But yeah, tackle, we're really looking at Paul. He's really the top guy. After that, I mean, we could if we don't take Paul now, we could wait on Rosengarten or Amagaji or a player like that, or even Christian Jones down the road. I like Jones a little more than PFN does. All right, so Patrick Paul, Malachi Corley. I think that's pretty much where we're going here. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Patrick Paul's kind of the way to go here. All right. I like Chris Jenkins too. Chris Jenkins, though, to me, is a little bit more of a five technique. He's a little bit more of an edge. 6'2", 299. He's going to be more of an edge rusher. And we need more of somebody who can play inside. I definitely like him. I just don't know if he is what we need right now. All right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and take a left tackle. We're going to take Patrick Paul. I don't know if he's been taken in too many mock drafts, but we're taking him in ours. Okay, Ravens trade? Absolutely not. We're not going down 21 picks. And Dolphins can go take a hike. All right. All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, this looks pretty good. All right, we got some good players here. So we got 72, and then we're not picking again till 112. So 40 picks, then we have 112 and 114. All right. So we look at the board here, and we've got Peyton Wilson, fantastic linebacker from NC State. Jonathan Brooks, very high end running back, but we can get plenty of running backs later. Cedric Van Pran is now Cedric Van Pran Granger. So he's now SVPG. Doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well, does it now? All right, Xavier Leggett. I like it. I'm a big Xavier Leggett fan. All right, let's go to the wide receivers. I think we need to look at a receiver here. Elon says Roman Wilson. I think Roman went. Yeah, Roman went to the Patriots. Roman's not on the board. All right. Xavier Leggett. I like him a lot. Ricky Pearsall's okay. Jalen McMillan. I think Tez Walker had an unbelievable RAS. Yeah. Tez Walker had a 9.86 RAS. Really, really good. And Leggett was really good too. 9.92. Just saying. DK Metcalf-esque. All right. Jalen McMillan, also really good, 9.33. Plays slot, plays outside. I'm thinking wide receiver here at this point, guys. I think that's going to be the place to go. Johnny Wilson, he'll give you some size. Ooh, Malik Washington, maybe we could get him later. Yeah, Johnny Wilson, another very high RAS score. 6'6", 231 pounds. I think he has a little bit of issue. I don't know if he gets separation all that well. I think that's one of the issues with him, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we have some excellent receiving options here to choose from. Elon wants to go Pearsall. So Pearsall, they still don't have a profile on him, but he has a good RAS score, 978. All right. I'm leaning towards I like Tez. I like Jalen. Leggett's probably the guy I like the most in this spot. And right now it seems like the chat's leaning a little bit more towards Leggett. Got some Pearsall love too. Modine, do not take any white wide receivers. Right. So if Wes Welker's there, we got to avoid him. By the way, wouldn't Lab McConkey also have been white? Just checking. I know you're kidding. Yeah, Leggett. All right, so Hank likes Leggett. Wild Wave likes Pearsall. I'm gonna give the slight edge to Leggett on this one, guys. All right, we're gonna go Leggett on this one. I gotta say, I like where we are so far. It's a little bit unconventional, but it's still pretty good. There goes Malik Washington. It seems like a good player that we like always gets taken right before. All right, Jordan Travis was taken as well. All right, so at this point, just to recap where we've been, we've taken 2 offensive linemen and we've taken a wide receiver. Now we really have 3 decent picks left before we get to the very end. So I think at some point, it's a good idea to go with defense, whether that's defensive tackle, whether that's a safety, maybe a linebacker or a corner, but yeah, defensive tackle and safety are probably the biggest issues. But let's look at a couple of positions really quick. Quarterback Joe Milton, who had a great combine, is on the board, but he can be gotten a lot later. There'll be a lot of running backs. Dylan Lobby, I like him. Jalen Wright, really rising up the rankings, looking good. Isaac Guerrero, that's somebody I didn't mention on the running back show, but people are really starting to like him too. Guerrero, that's a guy I'm going to have to talk about in the future. Yeah, there's some Jawar Jordan. I love him, love his speed. So I think later on we'll look at a running back. Wide receivers, you could still get Javon Baker. You could get Brandon Rice. Not bad. Luke McCaffrey's still out there. All right. We'll skip offensive line for the time being. Yeah, Hawks are. Yeah, Garendo is a little bit like Pacheco. Yeah, it's easy to mix Isaac and Isaiah, but yeah, they're both very. Yeah. I definitely like what I saw the little bit I saw of Garendo this week. Yeah, I was watching videos of him. Defensive tackle. Okay, McKinley Jackson's pretty dang good. 6'1", the worst RAS, one of the worst RAS scores imaginable. Team captain for the Aggies. Okay, yeah, more of a zero. That's right, more of the zero technique. So he's like playing right over the center. I don't know if that's the type of defensive tackle we're taking. Okay, let's go by position here. I love Dwayne Carter. Love him. Team captain with Duke. Plays everything very well. He was actually a captain 3 straight years at Duke. That's saying something. Makai Wingo would also be a very good pickup too. 6'0", 284. Tyler Davis, if you're looking for more of a run stopper from Clemson. So there's some good defensive tackles. Now at safety, we talked about safeties last week. There's some good ones. Kalen Bullock, wow, he's still on the board. I'll tell you this: if Bullock makes it to 112 and you can get that center field safety, that's a very, very intriguing decision. Keep in mind, we got 112 and 114, so yeah, we have some options here. Now you got the Raiders, so you never know what the hell they're going to do. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm wondering if we should go defense with both these picks. So you guys tell me. I mean, we need a running back at some point. We need defensive tackle. We need a safety. We could stand to get a quarterback. And if the board works well, maybe a linebacker, maybe a cornerback, maybe developmental edge. There's Charles Smith Wade is pretty good young cornerback. It's not bad. Javon Solomon's very well thought of. If you want to if we lose Bryce Huff and you want to add another edge rusher, Javon Solomon and Jonah Ellis, those are both very good ideas. Okay. I think my goal for next week is to figure out how to create a poll on this stupid thing because it's just not letting me do it. Yeah, and I can't share my screen or it's not going to work. Okay. Okay, guys, I hate to tell you this, but I'm a little bit all over the map here with where we can go. So, I'm just going to throw positions at you, okay? And you tell me what position you want. So let's go 4 positions. Defensive tackle would be one. Safety would be one. No, I don't want to. I'm not going to ban any, but no. In the past I would have had a quick trigger finger, but no. As long as people aren't insulting each other personally, I'm not gonna do that. It's okay. I think maybe we should throw a running back here, or maybe wide receiver. There's still some good wide receivers. Jay says it's a little bit early for defense. Well, Jay, could we do it at 114 then? Would that be all right? No, nobody's getting banned here, guys. Not yet. All right. I'll just throw the positions out. So, running back, wide receiver, defensive tackle, safety. You guys pick which position. Hulk wants to go Garendo and Rice. Yeah, I like Javon Baker too from Central Florida. Yeah, I do too. So running back, wide receiver, defensive tackle, safety. You guys pick. Got a lot of love for Brendan Rice here. Okay. Want to get that next to the wide receiver. We got to think about so 112, 114, then 187. Yeah, we do want to think about some positions we could draft late. Let's look at some of the depth at wide receiver here. McCaffrey's at 153. Cornelius Johnson's moving up the rankings from Michigan a little bit up to 205. Ananias Smith, who's super, super fast, is all the way down to 224. Bob Means, I've heard of him a time or two. All right. I'm seeing a lot of love for Brennan Rice. So you know what? I'm gonna give you all what you want. Brennan Rice is coming to the Jets. We got a wide receiver. And then the Raiders went with Kalen King, the cornerback. All right. I'm gonna make a call on this one. We're going defense with this pick, okay? All right, so we're going to go with a defensive player here. So I'll give you so we'll go either Kalen Bullock, Dwayne Carter, Makai Wingo, or let's throw in an edge rusher here, Jonah Ellis. I think. Well, I don't know if I should go with Ellis. I don't know. It's a little bit early for an edge rusher. Let's wait on that. Yeah, let's take that one back. Kalen Bullock, Dwayne Carter, Makai Wingo, Tyler Davis. There we go. Let me put this in the chat. So Bullock. I'm sorry, this is not a poll, guys. I know. It sucks. Wingo, Carter. Dane, you're funny. Yep. No problem, Jets mess. Yeah, there's no edges in there. Yeah, we'll take an edge later. Yeah, Hawk. Yeah, we'll definitely take a running back at some point, but we could get a good running back later. Believe me, they're good. They're going to be good running backs. We don't need to take one right now. All right, guys. This is pick 114, and after this, we don't pick until number 187. So that's 73 picks away. So we got to make this one count. All right. So Mo likes Bullock. Let me just. Where was Gorendo ranked? I think it was like the 100, 176. There's a chance we could get him at 187. And even if we can't, I mean, Jawar Jordan, Dylan Johnson, Cody Schrader, there'll still be some good. There'll be some good ones to pick. We don't need defensive players in the draft. I mean, we have Hawk. I'm just letting you know. Right now, we've got one safety on this team, and we've got one defensive tackle on this team. That's all we have. All right. So we just got to keep that in mind. Quick shout out to the great Jets mess. As far as I know, the first member in the history of New York sports WickerMedia. Thank you, man. Thank you. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, just for you, I'm going to play. That's for you. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you. All right. You know what? You know what, Jets mess. Just because you did that, guess what? This pick is yours. Who do you want? Pick 114. I know you don't want an edge, but Jets mess. I'm going to give you this pick just as let's see here. Let me think about this. We're already into 114. I'll tell you what, mess. I'll do this for you. I'll give you the next pick, 187. I'll give you 187. I'll do that because we're already talking 114, but I'll give you 187. Linebacker or wide receiver? Okay, so we will save that. All right, so the one thing with that, though, we did take two wide receivers. We took Leggett and we took Rice. So I don't know if we need Dano, any reason why I'm subscribed but isn't listed in my subscription feed? I had to notice you were live because of the red icon. Click on the bell and make sure the notifications are on. Just make sure those notifications are on. And then every time I go live, you should get the notification. Every time I post a video, you'll see. All right. So we got to make a decision here. Now, personally, if it was me, I'd be going for Bullock or I'd be going for Carter. I think those are both going to be difference makers. If you like Tony Adams as more of a strong safety, Bullock can play center field for you. Smith wants a linebacker or a kick punt returner. Okay, I'll give that to you at 187. We're not going to do it just yet, but we'll do that a little bit later with like Eichenberg or yeah, we'll get a linebacker for you, so some returnability at 187. Not going to do it just yet. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what. Right now, I think I'm seeing the most. It's kind of Bullock, Carter, both getting some love here. Yeah. All right, we got to make a decision here. I don't want to keep everybody all night. All right, we're going to take Dwayne Carter because we definitely need the defensive tackle, and I think we could get a safety a little bit later. So we're taking Dwayne Carter. All right, now for this next pick, I'm going to go linebacker for Jets mess. It's just what it's what he wanted, and yeah, since he's the first member, he gets that. That's his reward. All right. So, all right, Jets Smith. I'm going to go to linebackers here. I think we should just go. I think we should just go with Curtis Jacobs, just because he went to linebacker U, went to Penn State. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't done. I'll be honest with you. I haven't done a ton of research yet on linebackers, but that is something I'll be doing in the next couple weeks. So, Dwayne. Yep, I like Dwayne Carter a lot. All right, Jet Smith. This is if you have any preference on any of these linebackers, let me know. Yeah, there's a big drop off here, like 162 to 201. Hawk says we missed all the good running backs. Well, let's take a quick look at that. Blake Watson, Jawar Jordan's on the board. Hawk, I can tell you this: if Jawar Jordan is on the board, there is still a good running back. Oh, Garendo went. Oh, that's why you're upset. Okay. Well, we would, and there goes Ladarius Henderson. We would have been allowed to take Garendo because Jets Mess wants him. Okay, let's go to linebacker, and he wants Curtis Jacobs, so we're going to take him. So we got a linebacker. Now we will have to go, I think, with a running back at some point here, and maybe so we get a safety. There goes Jordan. Okay. Thought that might happen. All right, let's see if there's anybody here. Tip Ryman? Oh boy, quite a name. All right. Oh shoot. Clicked on an ad, my bad. Okay, with a running back, we've got Cody Schrader. I do like him. Rasheen Ali's dealing with an injury. Dylan Johnson's pretty good. He can only a 4.35. Johnson's okay, but yeah, we're not that. Hopefully, we signed a free agent running back, is what I will say to this. Yeah, Johnson's okay. I like Schrader a little more myself. Let's do a quick. I'll pull the board up here. We have 2 picks left back to back. So we took JPJ, Patrick Paul, Xavier Leggett, Brendan Rice, Dwayne Carter, Curtis Jacobs. That's pretty good. Yeah, well, we don't have. I mean, a running back and a safety is what we're really, really missing here. Now, I don't love the running backs. Let's take a look at safety, see what's out there. Jalen Simpson is still there. Yep, we did a profile on Simpson. I happen to like Simpson quite a bit. I think, Hawk, I don't know if we really did F up, but, all right. I don't know if we did. Harlan Abraham wants to look at cornerbacks. Quentin Newsom. I've heard some good things about Quentin Newsom recently. PFN hasn't, though. All right. I'll just look at a couple of different positions. Quarterback, Devin Leary, Jason Bean. Yeah, I think some people like Jason Bean. Yeah, we definitely. Yeah, that's like one thing we didn't. Yeah, the running back situation isn't great. It's almost at the point where if we didn't take a running back, I'd be like, well, hopefully we'll just get one in free agency. That's basically it. Wide receiver, yeah, we did that pretty well. Tight end, tackles, Monk. Will Putnam's there. Defensive tackles, Marcus Harris is there. But we're doing pretty well. A couple guys from on the edge. Linebacker, is Luke Reimer still there? Yep, Reimer's there, but we took a linebacker. Quarterback, Quentin Newsom, Jane Davis from Miami. And yeah, my personal thought is we should really go safety here. Jalen Simpson is who I like. Al Walcott, I'm not as familiar with. To me, Jalen Simpson is definitely the player to draft here. Yeah, I think Simpson would be a good pick. I don't know if anybody's going to have a big say on this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and draft Jalen Simpson. Okay. Okay, guys. At this point, let's just look at the top of the board, and then we will do the. We're going to go ahead and spin the wheel, and I'm sure we want to get to that. So let's go there. All right. So Ryan Jett, we have great corners on the roster. We don't have any safeties yet. We have Tony Adams, and I'm willing to bet we'll bring back Chuck Clark or Ashton Davis, if not both, at least one. But yeah, Jalen Simpson to me is going to be a good pickup. I think he's very underrated on this board. And again, I mean, yeah, next year, what do we have? I think is Sauce the only cornerback under contract after next year? I think Reed, Carter, Eccles are all free agents. I think. So maybe we should just grab a cornerback. Modine, take a guy with an unpronounceable. Okay, yeah, we could do that. Pittsburgh usually takes those types of guys, yeah. At this point, it's like, let's just look for like the best name we could find, right? Arias Muasau. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Maema Jungnada. Jungnada. Yeah. Or hell, maybe she just take a kicker. Yeah, would you like me to take Maema Jungmeta? That sounds like a great Pittsburgh Steeler, doesn't it? Yeah, I might have to go with Jungmeta. All right, now, guys, selfish. If I was doing this and I was doing it selfishly, I'll be honest with you, I would take Jason Henderson from Old Dominion, from ODU, who I think was the leading tackler in the country this year, but obviously not rated very well. But but Jason Henderson, I have some local bias for him. All right, you know what, Mo? Just to make Mo happy, so we know that we'll have a good draft, so that not even Mo can complain. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and take John Meta. All right. So that is do we have 257? Wait a second here. Oh, we still have 257. Oh, sorry. There we go. We didn't trade 257. Okay. One more pick to take. Just to pick up a cornerback. Yeah, I think the top player available is Quentin. Is what, Newsom? Ryman, tight end. Yeah, let's take the cornerback, just a cornerback to develop. So there's our draft, guys. So number 19, we made a trade. We took Jackson Powers Johnson. So rather than take a Talise Fuaga or a JC Latham, we turned them into two linemen, JPJ and Patrick Paul. Will that be the right move? Only time will tell. Hawk loves Isaac Garendo. Okay, I'm definitely going to talk about Garendo on a future show. I will. But we got JPJ and Patrick Paul really helping to anchor that offensive line. We got Xavier Leggett, who I think is going to be a great complement to Garrett Wilson. Brendan Rice, who has wanted to be a Jet and will be a very good developmental wide receiver. Even if he isn't ready to play immediately, he could definitely contribute. Dwayne Carter will step right in at defensive tackle. You got Curtis Jacobs from Penn State at linebacker. Jalen Simpson, the safety from Auburn that we took in the 7th round. Another linebacker, we got Maema Jungmeta and Quentin Newsom, the cornerback from Nebraska. Guys, I think this is a good freaking draft. This is a good draft right here. I feel pretty good about it. All right. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's exit out of here, and I'm gonna pull up the wheel. And let's do the 100 random Jets wheel tonight. I'm going to max out my screen. And by the way, if you remember, Hawkeyes first 4 picks, awesome. Harlan Abraham, Carson Steele as an undrafted free agent. I'd be good with that. If you remember, Jets Mess, you can. Let me take the. Go back to StreamYard real quick. I don't want to leave the high current comment. Yeah, I'm glad you liked the first 4 picks. Yeah, I thought it turned out pretty well. And if you're Jets Mess, if you're there, you should have access to emojis. So if you want to show off the wheel emoji, you can do that. So yeah, see if you can throw out the wheel emoji into the chat. That'd be really cool. But all right, guys. So let's spin the wheel. So what we're gonna do is, if you haven't been here before, we're gonna spin the wheel 10 times. We've got 100 random New York Jets on the wheel. And with each one, we're going to assign them a ranking on our top 10 list from 1 top of the list to number 10 bottom of the list. And at the end of it, let's just see how it turns out. And if our top 10 works out, yeah, there's the emojis. There we go. Yeah, so I think once I get a second member, I could create a 5th emoji. Yeah, that's the wheel emoji right there from Jets Mess Mess. That is freaking cool. All right. Okay, guys, so here we go. We are going to spin the wheel tonight. Spin number 1. Here we go. And it's coming to a stop on, oh dear God. Okay, I thought it was on Christian Hackenberg. But it lands on Eric McMillan, who was an absolute whiz in the secondary at getting defensive touchdowns. I think he had 5 or 6 defensive touchdowns in his Jets career. All right, chat, so this is where you come in. On that 1 to 10 scale, where are we ranking Eric McMillan? I don't think he was a Jet all that long. Like maybe 5 years or so? But where are we going to put Eric McMillan on this list? I'll give you a second to throw your numbers there into the chat. Just going to look up Eric McMillan real quick. Yeah, played with the Jets from 1988 to 1992, Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he had 8 interceptions his rookie season. All right, we got a little bit of variety. Hank says 4. Hawk and Jets Mess say 7. Mo Dean says 5. Harlan says 5. He was the only. This is pretty good. He is the first Jets player in team history to play in the Pro Bowl his first 2 seasons. He just wasn't here all that long. Dane going for a 9 just to be different. Wild Wave says 6. Yes, Hawk. 1 is tops and 10 is the lowest and below. Yeah, 10 is Christian Hackenberg and 1 is Curtis Martin. All right. I know Christian Hackenberg did not play for the Jets, but he was a draft pick. So yeah, Dane. So yeah, just pick wherever you want to rank them. Like if you were to hypothetically think where Eric McMillan would rank on this list, like an all-time top 10 Jets list, where would it be? Considering the other players who are going to be on, because we have all-time Jets greats on this wheel, we have all-time Jets busts on this wheel. So if you think that Eric McMillan was a good Jet, good solid Jet, but not top of the line, you might make him about a 4, 3 or 4. If you think he was very average, make him about a 5. If you feel like he was bad, but not an all-time bust, maybe a 7 or an 8. So that's kind of the idea. Okay. So yeah, Hank G, there are some absolute fails on this. Right. Once a spot is taken, you cannot change it. So that's the thing. So like an Eric McMillan, you really want to make it count now. Yeah, you want to leave some of those spots open. I think we're seeing like a good variety here, guys. Like kind of like anywhere from 4 to. I almost feel like it's like a 5 to a 6, somewhere in that area. Let me see here. 11, 18, 25, 30, 39, 45, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm thinking about a 6 would be about it. I mean, I'm happy to make him a 5. Oh, we're taking out the 9. Okay, 5, so he's leaning 6 now. Okay. Yeah, let's go 6 with Eric McMillan. I think that's pretty good. I would go, yeah, I would go as high as 5-4 if I'm pushing it. But then again, it all depends on the wheel. We could have a wheel with so many busts that Eric McMillan would be worthy of a 3 or a 4. He just wasn't a Jet very long, only 5 years. All right, so I'm going to make him a 6. All right, Eric McMillan is number 6. Let's go to spin number 2. Here we go. And the wheel is coming to a stop on Freeman McNeil, running back. All right, very good. Jets draft pick way back when, was a Jet for a whole lot of years. Scored some big touchdowns, did have some unfortunate fumbles in his career as well. I know Green Bean loves him a lot. He loves Freeman McNeil about as much as he can love anybody who is not a tight end, as a matter of fact. But McNeil was a Jet his whole career from 1981 to 1992. So let's see what the chat has in mind. Yep, Ring of Honor member, absolutely. All right, Dane's got him at a 2. Jets Mess has him at a 3. Wild Wave a 4. Hawk a 4. Hank a 3. So we're definitely looking at the upper half of this particular countdown. Dane is asking, how can you say 4 when he's Ring of Honor? Come on. Well, hey, maybe we get Namath, Klecko, and Martin in our spins. You know? Then the key is, do we have a wheel from 1 to 10 that pretty well reflects best Jet to worst Jet? So the key is, if you feel Freeman McNeil was a better Jet than Eric McMillan, he has to be higher than 6, because we can't use number 6 again. Why did Freeman McNeil end up on Draft Wonders? I think we passed on Lawrence Taylor. I think we did. George Rogers was first, the running back. No, Lawrence Taylor was second. We took Freeman McNeil third. We passed on Kenny Easley, who was a safety that went to the Hall of Fame. We could have taken Ronnie Lott at 8. Hey, we got Ronnie Lott just way too late. Mike Singletary was drafted 38th in that draft. Howie Long, 48. Ricky Jackson, 51. Russ Grimm, 69. And these are just the Hall of Famers that were drafted. That is a very, very good draft in 1981. Great year, too. That's when I was born. Yeah, we passed on a few really, really good players, but Freeman was fine. Freeman was fine. All right, I'm gonna put let's see, 2, 1, 2, 3. I feel like 3 is a good place for him. Yeah, I think 3 is kind of reflecting the average of the chat right now, and I got a feeling we're gonna get a couple players who we could rank a little bit higher. I just got a good feeling about it. And again, I got to say, in the Cleveland double overtime disaster, he did have a big fumble. That hurts. Okay, that's 2 spins down. Let's go to spin number 3. And we are going to land on, this is always a controversial one, Muhammad Wilkerson, who is a fantastic Jet when he was healthy and before he got paid. All right, so looking up Muhammad Wilkerson, not Muhammad Ali, not Muhammad Hassan, Muhammad Wilkerson. He has not, life has not been good to him, but was a Jet from 2011 to 2017, 2-time All-Pro, 2-time second team All-Pro. Was a Jet for 7 seasons. But yeah, he's had some DWI issues for sure. Yeah, but before he broke his leg, he was really good. Then he got paid, then he sucked. So let's see what we got. Wild Wave, 7. Jets Mess says 5. Dane says 7. Hank says 7. So here's the thing with Mo. Would you rank him above or below Eric McMillan? He was a Jet a little bit longer. Yeah, it's like the highs were high, but the lows were low. Yeah. Yeah, I think right now the chat is leaning towards 7. I think that's pretty good. Just taking a quick look on Twitter to see if there's any news going on, like you have Noah Hannafin going to Vegas. Yeah, that's a very good trade for them. Okay. Dave, mind you, those 7s are all simultaneous. Hawks is 4-time All-Pro. 2-time All-Pro, it looks like on the side. All right, we're going to make Mo a 7. All right. Looks like the chat is leaning towards 7. All right, so that's pretty good. So far, we've used spots 3, 6, and 7. All right, here we go. Spin number 4. Here we go. And the spin lands on the Terminator, John Connor. Well, if this was rating Hard Knock stars, I think he would be number 1. I think most likely. But yeah, the Terminator. Let's see. He was a Jet for only 2010 to 2012. It feels like longer. But he was out of the league in 5 years. He was okay. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, but decent fullback. But when he's a fullback, about how much can you really expect? He had like some knee and leg issues, and yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah, actually, most people don't remember the Jets brought John Connor back in 2014 after Tommy Bohannon broke his collarbone. So John Connor, wow, pretty tough here. 9, 8, 9, 9, 10. I can't go last. I'm not going to go last because I'm very confident that over our next 6 spins, we will come up with at least one Jet worse than John Connor. John Connor wasn't a horrible Jet. He just wasn't. He was just kind of there, He was just there and you barely noticed him, He was like that pinch of salt if you ever bake a cake. It's like it's there, but you don't know it's there. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go with a 9 for the Terminator. I think that's fair. All right, let's go on to spin number 5. Here we go. And it's going to land on, I got some good players here. That's a good player. Mo Lewis, number 57. Remembered for things he should not be remembered for, but a fantastic Jet pretty much throughout his whole career. Played 13 years with the Jets and only with the Jets from 1991 to 2003. 3-time Pro Bowler, should have been more. 2-time All-Pro, 14 interceptions, 52 sacks, over 1,200 tackles. That is super, super impressive. And was the Jets defensive captain from 1997 to 2003. So with Mo Lewis, where are we going to put him? You know, Freeman McNeil's number 3. Would you put Mo Lewis ahead of him? Myself, I probably would. Wild Wave says 10 gave Brady a career. Okay. I got you. I get you. All right, I see quite a few 2s here. Dane wants to make him number 1. You know what? With some of the wheels we've spun before, if Mo Lewis was our number 1, that would be okay by me. Right now, number 2 definitely seems to have the edge. I'll give you like 15 seconds or so here. Okay. Harlan resisted. Okay. Harlan with the 2 as well. Okay, I think we got that. So, all right, quick recap. We're at the halfway mark. Mo Lewis is number 2. Freeman McNeil at 3. Eric McMillan at 6. Mo Wilkerson at 7. And John Connor at 9. All right. I think this is pretty good. I think this is pretty good so far. Dane, I sense people thinking I'm wrong. I'm betting I'm right with Lewis 1 and McNeil 2. I think with 5 spins, there's a chance we might get a Jet better than Mo Lewis, but yeah, we may not. I don't know. All right, here we go. We are in the second half. Spin number 6. Here we go, and we are going to land on. Oh, Kyle freaking Wilson. The guy was like allergic to an interception. One of the biggest first-round pick draft busts the Jets have ever had, and that's a franchise that is littered with them. A decent tackler, but he stunk. 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 Victor Cruz still going down the sideline on Christmas Eve, which the franchise still hasn't recovered from. Ugh. If I could make him an 11, I probably would, guys. That's how much disdain I have for. I don't think there's a draft pick I loathe as much as I loathe Kyle Wilson, even more than Zach. I mean, oh gosh, I don't know what it is. Because man. All right, Kyle Wilson will be a clear number 10. Yeah, I will say this. I'm going to show this. I don't know if y'all be able to see this on screen here, but I'll just kind of hold this up. This was the worst wheel we ever did, and I saved it. And Kyle Wilson, it was so bad that we had to make Kyle Wilson our number 6 right there. That's how you know your wheel is shit. I mean, my God, on that wheel that night, we had Kyle Wilson, Chris Herndon, Brian Winters, Christian Hackenberg, Jabari Zuniga. Oh, my God. It was so bad. I don't know what anybody saw in Kyle Wilson. I don't know. He could get tackled a little bit, but oh, my gosh. He could make an interception if he had Stickum all over his body. All right, enough of him. Let's go on. Spin number 7. It can't be. I know it can't be that bad again, and that's why we didn't make John Connor number 10. And it's Joe Willie Namath, number 12. The Super Bowl MVP, the first quarterback ever to throw for 4,000 yards in team history. Yes, threw more interceptions than touchdowns, but at the end of the day, he was a risk taker. He was the original gunslinging quarterback. Do I even need to go on any further? Do we need to go on any further? Joe Namath, top of the list, number 1. And that is unanimous. All right. Dane, yes, because he left us the curse. Yeah, well, he still gave us the 1 Super Bowl. Or so I'm told it actually happened. It's almost like a biblical tale. I've been told it's happened. There's evidence that it happened. It's just sometimes a little bit impossible to believe it actually happened because I wasn't there to see it. But okay, so here's what we have left. 3 spins left. The numbers we have left are numbers 4, 5, and 8. All right, quick recap. Joe Namath 1, Mo Lewis 2, Freeman McNeil 3, Eric McMillan 6, Mo Wilkerson 7, John Connor 9, Kyle Wilson 10. All right, 3 spins left. We got to fill in spots 4, 5, and 8. Again, guys, thanks for hanging with me this late. 2 hours and 15 minutes. What a night. This has been fun. All right, here we go. Spin number 8. And we are going to land on, from Maryland, Lamont Jordan, backup running back to Curtis Martin for a couple of years before he left and went on to the Raiders, had one good career, and then just kind of got hurt. Yeah, Jordan's actually doing some broadcasting now. So yeah, Johnny Jimenez wants John Hall. Yeah, we know that. If you know that story, you know that story. All right, so here's the thing with Jordan. Are you going to rank him above Eric McMillan and Muhammad Wilkerson or below Eric McMillan and Muhammad Wilkerson? That's the question. Yeah, so we're going to put him at probably 5 or 8. I don't think he's going to be number 4, but he's going to be 5 or 8. And right now, that is split right down the middle. While Wade's changing his vote from 5 to an 8. Not again that Lamont Jordan was a bad Jet. He definitely wasn't. He just had a very limited role. And that was pretty much, and, he left for, I'd say greener pastures, but silver and blacker pastures is what he did. Dane asks who's 6 and 7. Okay, 6 is Eric McMillan, and 7 is Muhammad Wilkerson. Myself personally, if you want my opinion, I would go number 8 for Jordan, because his highs were never as high as Eric McMillan and Muhammad Wilkerson. I shouldn't have said. I just realized I said a high with Muhammad Wilkerson. That was not on purpose, I promise. Oh, gosh. Hope this doesn't get out to his family in Rahway. Oh, jeez. All right. Lamont Jordan's going to be 8. Am I the only one who caught that I said a high for Muhammad Wilkerson? Okay, just making sure it was only me. Oh, gosh. All right. Numbers 4 and 5 are left. All right, we got 2 spins left to go. Here we go. Spin number 9. We need some good Jets here, and we're going to land on, Derek Mason. Oh, well, if we're looking at an overall NFL career, this would not be a bad spin, but we're looking at a Jet, and he replaced Jericho Cotchery, and no good. Yeah, Derek Mason with the Jet. Let's just pull this up. I really want to pull up what he did here. All right, NFL career statistics after he left Tennessee and Baltimore. Yeah, 2011 was his last season. Played 5 games with the Jets, 13 catches on 21 targets, 115 yards, no touchdowns, and then he was off to Houston. Wow. He only played 5 games with the Jets? Wow. Some said Mason was a cancer to the team. He complained about Brian Schottenheimer. And the Jets traded him for a conditional 7th-round pick, and then Houston released him. Wow. Yeah, yep, that was the first bad one. So, yeah, Dan, we basically got him to be that 3rd receiver. Yeah. I can't believe he only played 5 games with the Jets. 5 games. Wow. It doesn't seem like that. I know he was only there 1 year, but he didn't even make half a season with us. Yeah, if I had my way, yeah, he would be. I don't even know if I would rank Derek Mason above John Connor as a Jet. Right? You can make that case. You can put Derek Mason all the way down at number 9 on this wheel. All right, well, we got one more spin. We're going to spin number 10, and this is going to be our number 4 Jet, and it's going to be, oh, shit. Speaking of a first-round pick bust, Dwayne Robertson, who he traded 2 first-round picks and a 4th-round pick to get. All right, so let's get out of the wheel. Let's stop sharing. And with that in mind, I've only got one thing to say as far as the result of the end of that wheel. Yeah, that was not good enough. Actually, play one more. There's nothing like Dwayne Robertson and Derek Mason to screw the wheel up. You can always count on them. Yeah, we had a really good first 8 though. We were doing very well, but yep, 4 and 5. That's the way it goes. We get a redo. Now if this, I'll tell you what, man. If it was just 1, I would redo it. But 4 and 5, no. no, no, no. I can't do a redo on two of them. So yeah, so we're gonna kind of call that one. So, but hey, yeah, that was a whole lot of fun. The mock draft was fun too. Going through the numbers of those tackles, I enjoyed. It's a lot of work putting all that stuff together, reading the scouting reports, watching the different videos, trying to get a feel for it, and just presenting my opinion to you. I know I'm one of probably many different people's opinions that you'll hear, and you all have your own too. And over the time, we'll see what we're right about, what we're wrong about, because we'll all have some stuff we're right about, we'll have some stuff we're wrong about. That's kind of the fun of it. All right, guys, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a couple of quick mentions here as we get ready to close out with the NHL trade deadline coming up. Chances are I'll be doing a video summarizing that. We'll see if the Rangers make another move. There are rumors, I said earlier, the Devils may be looking to sell a piece or two off, so that should be interesting. And for next week, since we're doing it Wednesday night, Wednesday is the first night that teams can officially sign free agent contracts with a new team. So we will be seeing sort of a new New York Jets this time next week. So hopefully we'll have some good stuff here to talk about. And hey, maybe we'll even be able to break some news live on the show. Hey, we've broken the Denzel Mims trade before. That happened once. Maybe we'll get a little bit exciting news next Wednesday. So I won't be doing a whole lot of research. We're just going to kind of take it in as it comes. It should be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll be in a good mood. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Go Jets, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where? The Wicker Chair.